The girl was pregnant with a baby leopard, and she's about to give birth soon. But she has no idea who the father is. It all started when she first arrived in the beast world. She was forced to bind with a childbearing system. If she didn't get pregnant within an hour, she would die. So she picked a severely injured man. She took charge like a queen. She planned to leave right after. What she didn't know was, after she left, that pregnancy tool slowly transformed from a human into a leopard. All the wounds on his body started healing rapidly. He stood up and quietly crept up behind the girl. That day, the girl's tribe was attacked by magical beasts. A black leopard with an axe seized the opportunity and snatched away the female who had forced herself on him. He planned to give this little mouse a harsh lesson. But suddenly, he smelled something different on her. This woman was pregnant with his offspring. The black leopard was silent but excited. He carried the little mouse away for 3 days and 3 nights. He planned to bring her back to the leopard tribe. But an unexpected accident happened along the way. Su Wan felt a sudden sharp pain in her belly. She felt like she was about to give birth. It had only been a few days. After asking the system, she learned her current body was that of a little white mouse. Mouse females only need 30 days to give birth. The black cat immediately carried her and ran off. They needed to find someone to assist with the birth as soon as possible. But her belly couldn't wait any longer. Thankfully, her childbearing system had an automatic delivery mode. Su Wan immediately told the black leopard to stop and find a safe place. She wanted to deliver the baby herself. The black leopard didn't say a word. He quickly carried her to a mountain hollow. Then he opened his mouth and unleashed lightning to clear a flat area. Su Wan was surprised. Turns out his talent was lightning. The black leopard then used his mouth to gather soft grass and spread it on the ground. Finally, he looked at Su Wan. Just make do with this for now. Su Wan nodded in pain. She asked the black leopard to leave. The black leopard was uneasy, but still left the cave. He stood guard outside. Waves of pain hit. Su Wan cried out in agony. The black leopard couldn't help but look back to check. He happened to see Su Wan's delicate features, wrinkled in pain under her snow-white long hair. Noticing he was peeking, Su Wan managed a smile. "Don't look," the black leopard grunted, and turned his head away. The system announced at that moment, 10 minutes until the offspring is born. Su Wan took a piece of fish from her space and devoured it in one bite. She endured the intense pain, waiting for the final moment. The black leopard was restless. He paced nervously outside the cave. Suddenly, a pack of gray wolf magical beasts smelled blood and surrounded the cave. The black leopard struck them with lightning, burning them to a crisp. Just then, a heart-wrenching scream came from inside the cave. The black leopard rushed to Su Wan's side immediately. After that agonizing scream, Su Wan lost consciousness. The system's voice echoed in her mind. "Congratulations, host, you gave birth to the first child. Gender, male beast form, golden black leopard. Talent, wind attribute, profound level, beast crystal, golden black leopard. Reward, 1,000 points. A big childbearing reward package." Su Wan immediately controlled her consciousness. She exchanged 500 points for lifespan. Saving her own life was the priority. Seeing that her lifespan column had 500 days left, she finally felt alive again. She then used 200 points to activate the system. Didn't get time to check the store carefully. Su Wan quickly exchanged for a recovery pill, then tiredly opened her eyes. She took the recovery pill. Her energy was instantly restored. She immediately sat up, ready to meet her first child. But as soon as she looked, she was stunned. Where was the baby? The surroundings were completely empty. The black leopard and the child were both gone. Wait. Su Wan suddenly remembered the system's birth info. The child she gave birth to was a golden black leopard beast. Turns out that severely injured man was him. No wonder he'd been carrying her around these days, feeding her and taking care of her, but never turning human. Probably afraid I'd recognize him, right? Su Wan was frustrated to death. This was her first child. She hadn't even seen what he looked like before someone took him away. How could she not be upset? But the system was point-based, so she was destined to only give birth, not raise the child. The black leopard taking him away actually made it easier for her to prepare for her next pregnancy. Su Wan could only comfort herself this way. When she raised her first child in the mouse tribe, Her mentor had a fellow tribe male who passionately pursued her. Lin Lang was pretty decent. But when he returned to the mouse tribe, he heard from his brother that Lin Lang actually married the chief's daughter Ashley, although he only became her husband because of a love parasite. This man was officially removed from Su Wan's list of future partners. He lived his daily life and cultivated abilities at the same time. Yes, from the big childbearing reward package given by the system, he unlocked a fire ability reward. Her father and brother were shocked when they heard this. They were stunned, because females couldn't awaken abilities. Su Wan became the first female in the mouse tribe to awaken abilities. Finally, her target mission appeared. 2 guests came to the house. Surprisingly, it was Lin Lang and his good friend Zulu. Su Wan focused her gaze on Zulu. The last time she went with her father to the market to trade goods, she was left with a deep impression of this man. He belonged to the rabbit tribe. Young, energetic, and heroic. Very good looking. There was even a fresh grass and wood scent about him. He often traded game at her father's stall. She found out he was the most highly regarded youth in the rabbit tribe. And he had excellent water talent. She acted decisively, planning to make him the father of her next litter. Now it's all done. The whole transmigration had become just a game. These men were the NPCs she needed to conquer. The higher the male's rank, the higher the offspring's talent, the more points she would gain. Her ultimate wish was to save up 1 billion points and return to the real world to reunite with her mom. At that moment, Zulu's eyes lit up, staring at Su Wan without blinking. He was totally mesmerized. He'd never seen a female this beautiful. And Lin Lang next to him was stunned too. Su Wan was actually still alive. Ashley had clearly told him. Su Wan had died under the claws of magical beasts. But the mistakes were made. He was married now. He would never get another chance. Zulu completely ignored his heartbroken friend. He was determined to pursue this female. The next day, he went into the mountains and hunted a wild boar weighing 800 pounds. He carried the pork on his shoulder and knocked on Su Wan's door again. "Wan, can I stay for dinner tonight?" Su Wan already liked him, so she cooked personally and used the meat he brought to make soup. Zulu picked up the bowl, took a bite, and then his eyes widened. "What is this?" Su Wan replied with a bright smile. "Pepper pork soup. Do you like it?" Zulu looked at him with an indescribable expression. "You put passion fruit in it." Su Wan was stunned. The spice that smelled like pepper was actually passion fruit. This fruit only works on males. No wonder he was fine after eating it. Now Su Wan was completely dumbfounded. He asked, "What should I do now?" Zulu grinned, but his face was full of mischief. "It's easy, come and help me out." His ears were already turning red as he spoke. It was obvious he was already aroused. Before Su Wan could react, he scooped her up by the waist and walked toward the room. He also said to Daddy Oro, "That wild boar is my meeting gift. I heard Lin Ling gave 16 gold coins as dowry. I'll give 60. Su Wan wanted to struggle, but he was too strong. She simply couldn't break free. "Let me make one thing clear first. I'm not going to marry you. I might have other wives in the future. You definitely won't be the only one." Zulu didn't mind at all. "No problem, as long as you're happy." Su Wan couldn't help but laugh. She had no choice but to agree. The system provided the essence birthing pill for free. He took one after another. But Zulu had too much stamina. If he hadn't taken 2 youth restoration pills, there's no way he could have endured it. No one knew how much time passed. Zulu held the exhausted, fainted Su Wan in his arms, kissing her again and again, then carefully covered her with animal furs. He went back to his own place, packed up his things and savings, and got ready to move in with Su Wan. When Su Wan woke up again, he was alone in the room. He felt hungrier than ever. He polished off half a plate of meat in one go, but still felt hungry. He guessed he must be pregnant. At that moment, Zuo Lu walked in carrying a huge animal skin bag. Su Wan looked at him in surprise. "What's this about?" Zuo Lu looked excited. "From now on, I'm moving in with your family." Su Wan was speechless. Daddy Oro was shocked by what he said. What? Isn't that inappropriate? Would the rabbit tribe's old chief even agree? Zulu scratched his head nervously. He hadn't expected his own grandfather to secretly arrange a marriage with the most beautiful vixen from the fox tribe. Zulu immediately refused, said he was going to move in with someone else. Uncle Zhu, you're too late. Su Wan from the mouse tribe is already my mate. And we've already bonded. His grandfather almost fainted from anger when he heard this. Su Wan said while eating, Zhou is fine. But you have to hunt a lot more. I'll be eating a ton this month. Everyone knows mouse tribe pregnancies only last a month. He looked at Su Wan in disbelief. Su Wan nodded. Yes, I should be pregnant. And the baby has a huge appetite. Zulu was completely shocked. Uncle is actually pregnant. Weren't you supposed to be infertile? If it happened this time, maybe you're the reincarnation of the fertility goddess? He was so excited he almost jumped up. He turned around to leave, because Su Wan didn't want dried meat, just fresh meat. So he went out to hunt the best venison for him. And just like that, Zulu moved in as his beast husband. No one knew why. But this time Su Wan was always hungry.
He later found out from the system.
Maybe because he took the golden water pill. The golden water pill can enhance the fetus's talent level. This should be a litter of really strong babies. So just eating meat wasn't enough. He also needed the energy from rare spiritual treasures. So the next day when Zulu was going hunting, because of something called the 7-star red fruit, Su Wan said he liked eating it, and asked him to pick some if he saw it. Zulu took it very seriously. He immediately went into the mountains to search. But as soon as he left, he ran into an angry Linling. Zulu had taken the person his good buddy liked. He'd been ready for this. Faced with Linling's fury, they had a good fight. Although Linling lost badly, he still refused to give in. Damn it, I met him first. If I hadn't gotten hurt, I might have actually won. Linling. Zulu quickly found the 7-star red fruit on the mountain. However, there was actually a golden 2-headed wolf guarding the fruit. But Zulu wasn't afraid at all. He'd always hidden his true strength before. He actually had both water and wood abilities. He battled the fierce wolf for a while. After a tragic howl, he soon got the 7-star red fruit. Even Linling at the foot of the mountain heard the wolf's dying cry. A 2-headed wolf beast. He knew, even if he weren't injured, there's no way it would be killed that fast. That finally convinced him. That night, Su Wan finally got to eat the spirit treasures he wanted. The hunger faded at last. He even let out a burp. Looking at the man's satisfied smile, Su Wan's previously calm heart began to ripple. He only learned yesterday that the man didn't really believe he was pregnant. He just thought Su Wan wanted it so badly he had a false pregnancy reaction. After all, a one-time conception is impossible in a world where fertility rates are so low. But he still spoiled Su Wan in every possible way. He did everything himself, caring for him until his skin glowed with health. Meanwhile, the mouse tribe's leader using Su Wan's unclear fertility as an excuse, tried to marry off his granddaughter Rona to Zulu and make Su Wan the secondary spouse. Zulu angrily refused. Whenever he saw the man's burning eyes, watching her almost obsessively, Su Wan felt a little guilty. He couldn't reciprocate his feelings. So Su Wan made it up to Zulu with action, trying all sorts of new things, giving him pleasures he'd never known before. A few days went by in a flash. Su Wan's belly grew round like it was blown up. The truth was, Su Wan really was pregnant. As wild as Zulu had been before, he was just as regretful now. Fortunately, the babies were developing well. Rodent pregnancies are very short. In no time, there were only 3 days left until delivery. That day, Su Wan was suddenly jolted awake by a nightmare. His heart pounded with fear. A sense of foreboding washed over him. At the same time, in the primeval beast forest a kilometer away, a giant serpent, more than 10 meters long, lay hidden deep in the bush, staring intently at Zulu fighting a monster under the tree. At nightfall, Su Wan finally waited for Zulu to come home. But the gentle beast husband he knew felt a bit unfamiliar today. Zulu put down his catch, walked up to him, and stared down at his face, like it was their first meeting. When he saw Su Wan's big belly, his cold face suddenly turned excited. Su Wan felt chills at his gaze. It was like being stared down by a cold-blooded animal. But looking closer, Zulu's expression returned to his usual gentleness. And so Su Wan finally relaxed. Maybe she's just overthinking things after getting pregnant. At night, Su Wan fell into another nightmare. This time, he dreamed of being tightly wrapped by a thick fog. It was so hot he couldn't breathe. He finally woke up in shock from suffocation. And when he opened his eyes, he He was startled to meet Zulu's deep eyes at his left chest. Zulu's face became serious.
He spoke gently to comfort him.
Did you have a nightmare? His voice was low and seductive. Suwon listened to his voice, and the fear from the nightmare faded away. A strange urge arose deep in his heart. He remembered their past passion, and couldn't help moving closer. His intentions were obvious. Zulu was surprised. He raised an eyebrow. What about now? Suwon blushed and nodded. Her childbearing system came with a passive skill. Pregnancy itself is fine. Actually, it makes natural childbirth easier. Zulu's breathing became heavier. A red flash quickly passed through the depths of his gaze. Are you sure? Suwon happened to blink, and didn't notice the red flash. She nodded hard. Very sure. Zulu smiled. He touched her cheek, so soft and pleasant to the touch. But then he refused, saying, let's wait until you've given birth. No rush. But Suwon didn't believe him. Zulu used to be very passionate about this. He couldn't resist any teasing at all. So she leaned in and bit his lips. But with that bite, Suwon froze for a moment. Her lips were ice cold, not warm like before. Suwon asked in confusion, are you feeling unwell? Zulu shook his head, denying it. But in the following days, there were more and more oddities about Zulu. First, there was a rumor spreading that he'd been getting close to the group leader's daughter Lorna lately. But Suwon didn't believe it. In her eyes, Zulu is totally obsessed with looks. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been so smitten the moment he saw her face, immediately falling for her regardless. Even knowing her fertility was uncertain, he insisted on marrying into her family. But Lorna really is short, clumsy, and fat. The real Zulu would never like her. Later, she noticed, when Zulu interacted with other beastmen, he was polite and courteous, gentle and enthusiastic. But his smile was like a mask, handsome but not genuine. The old Zulu always acted sincerely. That sincerity is what touched Suwon, and made her decide to have a bunch of chicks for him. But before she could think further, Suwan's stomach suddenly started hurting. She knew she was about to give birth. The whole family started scrambling. Lu came back with Preg, only to see Suwon sweating profusely. He rushed to the bedside, handed her a 7-star red fruit to eat. That fruit was also recommended by that person. But Suwon shook her head. She didn't need it right now. She was pale with pain from the contractions. Her clothes drenched in sweat. This birth was very different from the last one. The system broadcast. Time until delivery was still 6 hours. How long did the pain last? After pushing with all her strength, she finally finished giving birth alone. Her consciousness fell into a coma again. Every time after giving birth, her consciousness would automatically enter the system. Her life flow would temporarily pause. From the outside, she had no breath, no response, almost as if she were dead. At that moment in the consciousness world, the system's mechanical voice was broadcasting battle results. Congratulations, host, for successfully delivering your second child. Gender, female, beast form, blue-gray rabbit. Talent, wood type, blue rank, auxiliary beast, blue-gray rabbit. Reward, 150 points. Third child. Gender, female, beast form, blue-white mouse. Talent, wood type, blue rank, auxiliary beast, blue-gray rabbit. Reward, 150 points. Fourth child. Gender, male, beast form, blue-gray rabbit. Talent, dual water fire, mysterious rank. Gold water single boosts 1 rank, auxiliary beast, blue-gray rabbit. Reward, 1,000 points. 1 big childbirth gift pack. Suwon didn't look at the gift pack. Instead, she stared at the points and asked the system, Xiaomei, how many points for a baby with the lowest talent, red rank? 50 points. What about heaven rank? 1 million points. So if I want more points, I need to give birth to kids with good talents. Yes, you must have offspring with high talent. Suwon wanted to keep asking, but was forcibly ejected by the system. Her body outside was in a fake death state. Family and friends saw that she wasn't breathing and thought she was gone. Ashley, who came to help, breathed a sigh of relief. Glad you're okay. Look how beautiful your babies are. And they're strong too. Ashley handed over 3 little babies. Looking at the 3 little animals, Suwon kept reminding herself they'd turn into humans eventually. When they'd turn human, Zulu walked in carrying a bowl of milk. Thank you for your hard work, Wanwan. God knows, when the kids were born, he was stunned to see the male rabbit baby. What kind of womb does this woman have to produce a living water-fire dual mysterious rank baby? The other two females were also blue rank wood type talents. In the beast world, talent ranks go from highest to lowest. Heaven, earth, mysterious yellow, blue, green, red. Blue rank isn't really high, but rare females usually have no talent at all. So it's already very rare? Zulu couldn't help but look at Su Wan's belly. Since when have lower species had such strong fertility? Guess he got lucky and found a gem. His eyes were full of gold. Clearly he was moved. Su Wan took the food and replied, "I'm fine. My mission is complete. Raising the babies is your job now." In the beast world, females are rare and only responsible for giving birth. Males have to hunt and raise the kids. Zulu readily agreed. Raising cubs is the male's job anyway. You just focus on recovering. But in the days that followed, Zulu seemed to care for the children on the surface. But when he looked at them, there was none of the love a father should have. Even a bit cold. Now Su Wan could almost completely confirm. The Zulu before her was fake. Except for his appearance that was just like Zulu. Everything else was different. Su Wan didn't dare to imagine. If this one's fake, where's the real Zulu? No matter what, she had to continue playing along for now. But very soon, things went beyond her control. The three babies grew day by day. Fluffy and cute, they became more and more adorable. Su Wan liked Lulu more and more, and started paying more attention to them. But that night, he came back early, walked up to her. I asked around. Mouse females can get pregnant again 3 days after giving birth, so it's possible to conceive again. Su Wan pretended her body hadn't recovered. She wanted to refuse, but he yanked her forcefully into his arms. "It's not that your body hasn't recovered. You're just disgusted with me, aren't you?" Su Wan pushed him away. She turned and left. Because Jinlu's spiritual power was leaking, a ball of fire flickered faintly in his palm. Zulu saw that fireball behind him. His expression grew more serious. He murmured softly, "No wonder you could give birth to a fire element child. So that's how it is. What other secrets are you hiding?" After walking a few steps, Su Wan released the system. The map showed everything within 100 meters clearly. He not only saw Zulu's surprised reaction, but heard every word of his mutterings. Turns out it was fake. It was real. Zulu knew about my fire element talent all along. He even said he wanted to know my secrets. Is it possible he stayed by my side all this time, just to dig into my background? But that's not the whole truth. On the second night, Zulu approached him again. He applied to have another litter. Su Wan still refused decisively. But then the system's voice echoed in his mind. Warning to the host. You cannot refuse childbirth requests from highly talented males. One more violation and 500 points will be deducted. Su Wan's eyes widened in shock instantly. He questioned the system in his mind. What are you doing? Xiao Mei answered in a business-like tone. Reminder to the host. Getting emotional is forbidden in the childbirth system. Su Wan was speechless for a moment, but soon understood why the childbirth system picked him. Because he'd been betrayed in love. His heart was dead as ashes. If he were influenced by feelings, or even refused to have more children for emotional reasons, then the childbirth system might simply destroy him and find another host. A chill swept over his whole body. Got it. Got it. Su Wan's consciousness exited the system. Zulu saw him standing motionless, his face still pale. He asked with concern, "What's wrong with you?" Su Wan's mind was in chaos. He stayed silent for a long time before saying, "I'm ready." To have kids, he looked straight at Zulu. There was calculation in his eyes. Since the system itself told him to have children, this person's talent must be higher than Zulu's. Even a yellow rank litter is fine. The children can be proof he isn't Zulu. Let's see how he tries to deny it. Zulu was a bit surprised. He just refused outright a moment ago. Of course, he was very cooperative about such a good thing. The candlelight flickered at night. It made his rough face look even better. That's right. His brows and eyes are more alluring than before. No one knows what he actually looks like. Sounds gradually emerge from inside. Su Wan feels this is insanely intense.
He thinks he might die at his hands.
Zulu is considered powerful. He barely manages to endure it. But the one in front of him is at least 10 times stronger. Su Wan can only beg for mercy. Only then does Lulu let him off. pressing her voice down, whispers into his ear, "You're the first who can accept me. I'm really happy." After speaking, she reveals her fangs. Above his chest, she bites hard just below his collarbone. After finishing, a sharp pain rushes through him. His vision goes dark. He passes out. Zulu looks at the perfect bite marks beneath the bloody skin, smiles with satisfaction. "I've marked you. Now you belong to me." Suwon wakes up not long after fainting. He first retrieves Yunzi-dan from the system shop, swallows the Jinzi-dan, then spends a point to buy Huiyuan-dan. His stamina instantly recovers, but he's still mentally exhausted. His energy seems limitless. If it weren't for a Huiyuan-dan, he might not have been able to handle him. The reproductive system isn't something you can just do casually. Males with high talent usually represent strength, comprehensive strength. At the dinner table, Zulu is energetically slicing fish fillets. Upon seeing Suwon, he obviously shows a bit of trying to please him. "I've prepared white fish. It's sweet and fresh, not fishy at all." Suwon thanks him, takes it, moving with a lazy and seductive air. Zulu suddenly feels parched. His voice grows even deeper and hoarse. "Besides fish, is there anything else you'd like to eat?" Suwon looks at the fish in the bowl. A sudden, uncontrollable craving rises in his stomach. He wants to binge eat again. The side effects of Jingsui Dan return. Suwon instantly. Suwon looks at the fish in the bowl. A sudden, uncontrollable craving rises in his stomach. He wants to binge eat again. The side effects of Jingsui Dan return. Suwon becomes so hungry that he feels dizzy. Gives orders to Zulu. "I want to eat 7-star scarlet fruit. Such rare treasures. Go fetch it for me right now." After speaking, he also tells his brother to bring all the fresh meat at home. He devours half a basin in one go. Brother Zhao Luo sees the situation. Hesitantly asks, You aren't pregnant again, are you?" Suwon nods wordlessly. Zulu, who had just taken 2 steps, suddenly stops. Looks at her belly. Confirms it. Suwon squints. "Last time was like this too. Aren't you pretty clear on that?" Zulu freezes in place. "Wait for me, I'm going now. It'll take no more than an hour." Suwon opens the system map. Watches him as he steps out. Instantly disappears from the map's range. He actually knows teleportation. He has to spend 50 points to use the system's item. However, this baby's potential seems to exceed his imagination. Suwan's appetite is much scarier than last time. When eating meat, he nearly swallows it whole. Even chewing twice feels too slow. Being able to eat like this actually proves the baby's talent is rapidly growing thanks to Jingsui Dan. His gifted abilities are quickly increasing. He checks his current points, 1,887. Remaining lifespan, 433 days. But returning to Earth requires 100 million points. Doing the math, even with a baby of heavenly tier talent, he'd need 1,000 of them. Destroy it all. Just thinking of that number is terrifying. At this moment, the system tells him, the Chun Emperor Zhuanhuang is a mortal beast. Above mortal beasts are spirit beasts and divine beasts. As long as the host keeps producing, once the system upgrades, you'll be able to birth spirit beasts and divine beasts. Damn, the system really acts like a CPU. All the food at my house was quickly devoured by Suwon. Zulu finally returns, holding a handful of 7-star scarlet fruit straight to Suwon. A total of 5 fruits. He immediately eats them eagerly. Even the leaves aren't spared. After eating, the hunger finally disappears. Last time, pregnant with a rabbit baby, he just needed 1 fruit. But this time, he needed 5. Shows how high the father's talent is. Suwon looks at Zulu. This fake one. What exactly is his true form? After eating, Suwon wants to go out. Changes into the maternity dress rewarded by the system and comes out. When the man sees the dress, his eyes flash with excitement. Suwon excuses himself, saying the dress was traded with a friend from the East District. Zulu casually asks, "What a coincidence, I also have friends in the East District. How did you meet that person?" "I met him in the Senyu Forest. He's from the leopard tribe." Suwon remembers the Black Panther and thinks of the little leopard cub he gave birth to, wondering what it looks like grown up. Is it healthy? Zulu's eyes suddenly flash red as he asks, "What kind of leopard?" Suwon glances at him. "It has nothing to do with you." Zulu keeps pressing. Male or female? Then let me ask, is your East District friend male or female? Seems to be male. Did you mate with him? Su-won is speechless for a moment. This guy is truly dangerous and smart. Actually, after last night's intimate encounter, grandmother's attitude toward Su-won changed noticeably. Before, Su-won could do whatever she wanted. Now, whatever she wants to do, grandmother is watching her closely. Especially her belly, afraid that any big movements might hurt the baby. She also sticks to her more than ever. No matter how many people were on the street, she would still do as she pleased and follow right behind, watching him like he was made of porcelain. Especially now, Zulu's looks are turning more attractive by the day. He even seems to have grown taller, making many females blush and get excited. Their envy towards Su-won is practically out of control. But Zulu doesn't care about the attention from other females at all. Sometimes he'd even kiss him in the street, or pick him up in his arms. And when a male showed interest in Su-won, he'd get secretly jealous. He attracts so much attention. How am I supposed to handle that? After spending this time together, Su-won could sense it. The person occupying Zulu's body didn't seem malicious. That made Su-won let her guard down a little. He and Zulu were completely different people, essentially. He was more domineering, and even more possessive, but he always cared about Su-won's feelings. He also treated Zulu's original family very well. Lately, Su-won's belly had gotten rounder and rounder. She was about to give birth soon. The closer it got to labor, the more energy the child needed. So Zulu started going to the beast spirit realm more often, to find rare spiritual foods for him. Very soon, the day of delivery arrived. Zulu was waiting outside the delivery room, looking extremely anxious. He wished he could go in and give birth for Su-won himself. But just then, Zulu's grandfather, the old rabbit clan chief, rushed in. Your second brother went out hunting early yesterday morning, and still hasn't returned. I heard a high-level magical beast appeared. I'm afraid things don't look good for him. Zulu looked toward the delivery room. Hesitating a bit, the old chief said anxiously, I'll stay here and keep watch. Pray to the god of life for our daughter-in-law's safe delivery. Zulu hesitated for a moment, but finally nodded. Then he spoke to Su-won in the delivery room. Second brother is missing. I'm going to look for him. I'll be back before nightfall. Su-won learned from the system that she still had 4 hours before labor, so she let him go. Before the man left, he looked deeply at Su-won, as if to remember her face forever. By dusk, only the second brother returned, covered in blood. The old chief was instantly alarmed. Where's Zulu? Why isn't he back? Where's Zulu? Why hasn't he returned? He, to save me, was eaten by a magical beast. As soon as second brother finished speaking, he completely passed out. The old chief stood in disbelief, almost collapsing. He couldn't believe his most outstanding sewer had just died like that. He sent everyone out to search, but only got reports back. Zulu's body was gone, not a bone left. He would never come back. At that moment, pained screams suddenly came from the delivery room. Su-won's labor had entered its final stage. The old chief's face was full of sorrow, blaming himself but not daring to tell Su-won the news. Afraid she might break down, costing 2 lives. But the old man didn't know. Su-won had already learned. She'd heard their recent conversation through the system. Her heart instantly sank to rock bottom. Zulu is dead. How could that be? He was so strong and so talented. How could he possibly die? Just as her heart ached, the tribe shaman suddenly said, Push a little harder. The baby is almost here. Su-won took a deep breath. No matter what, the baby comes first. Just then, someone outside suddenly shouted, A magical beast is here. The tribe shaman turned pale and covered Su-won with an orc blanket. Everyone into the underground passage. But there was no turning back. Su-won only needed one more push, and the baby would be born. Wait a second. The magical beast outside didn't attack the tribe members. It was headed straight for Su-won's delivery room. On the way, none of the orcs could stop them. Some orcs saw what was happening and just burst into the delivery room. Run! The magical beast is after the baby. Looking at the system last night, in the map, a group of magical beasts threatened and roared. So frightening it turned her face white. A gush of warm fluid surged between her legs. Then everything went black before her eyes, and she fell into a near-death state. Congratulations to the host on delivering the fifth offspring. Gender: female beast body, ghost phoenix bird.
Talent: Fire type Class D talent, Golden Mouth Elixir.
Upgrades to Quasi-Heaven class, sub-beast ghost phoenix bird. Reward: 50,000 points. A childbirth gift pack. 1 sword shaft talent for the mother. Su-won heard the points and couldn't believe it. 50,000 points system. Xiaomei's voice sounded just a bit gentler. Yes, the childbearing system leveled up to 47. Su-won stared in disbelief at her points. 51,877. These points are too easy to earn. That's 50,000 in one go. I'm going to have 2 more litters for her. Host, are you going to the East District? The East District? Childbearing Zhongshen already left with the baby, heading to the East District of the Shushi continent. Are you saying the fake Zulu isn't dead? Only then did Su-won remember something. She quickly checked the info under sub-account. Ghost Phoenix Bird. Host, do you want to exchange 50,000 points for Zulu's whereabouts? Zulu's whereabouts. Su-won redeemed it without hesitation. If War hadn't earned so many points, she would never have spent them. After the points were deducted, a video recording started playing before her eyes. The whole story was shown in the footage, so it really was true. When Zulu was fighting the magical beast,
He lost, trying to protect his brother.
when he was dying,
He was approached by a man in black wearing a mask.
the masked man asked, "Do you have any regrets?" He looked very unwilling to die just like this. Zulu answered bitterly, "My wife is about to give birth. I originally came to pick 7-star scarlet fruit and fire deer for her. She must be starving at home." The masked man replied, "I can make a delivery for you." The next moment, Zulu died. The man looked down at him and murmured, "Low-class orc children are really enviable. It's so easy for them to be born." Then the masked man's body transformed into a huge red and black snake. A wisp of black mist slipped from the snake's mouth and entered Zulu's body. Not long after, Zulu opened his eyes again. The video ended there. From that point on, Zulu had been controlled by the fake Zulu. Su-won was a bit confused. If it was Zulu's body, why was the baby a ghost phoenix bird? During the final moment, he switched to his original form. So you were carrying his child. After the moment ended, he switched back to Zulu. It can even work that way? Su-won was speechless. So the real Zulu is really dead. And the fake Zulu's real body belongs to the ghost phoenix bird clan, masters at changing their appearance. So what is his real name? Mei Mei Yuan. Where did he take my daughter? Eastern region of Beast Food continent. There are more talented males there than in the western region. Host, you should head to the eastern region. How do I get to the eastern and western regions? Aren't they far apart? Are there many obstacles and barriers? 1,000 points for having a child. The system can transport the host to the eastern region. That's so expensive, Xiaomei. That's really shady of you. Host, there's no such thing as a free lunch. I won't go for now. After saying that, Su-wan's consciousness withdrew from the system. But right after coming out, she fell into a pitch-black dilemma again. She lit a small fireball. To her horror, she found herself inside a coffin. She was wearing luxurious clothing. Underneath her, there was a pile of burial coins, chibi, and gold coins. She asked the system and finally found out. After she gave birth, during the period she was in a fake death state. Her rabbit and rat family members thought she died and buried her.
Host.
You are now located 20 meters underground in the rabbit ancestors cemetery. 20 meters underground, how am I supposed to get up? You can use points. 3 points can get you out. But the system suggests the host can directly go to the eastern region. Raise gifted offspring there and earn more points, so you can return to Earth faster. Xiaomei tried again to persuade Su-won to leave the western region. Go to the eastern region. Su-won also realized that the more time she wasted, the harder it would be to catch up. With the system's help, she took one last look at her 3 little ones. She lowered her head lovingly and kissed them. Her figure slowly faded away. In the blink of an eye, Su-won was transported to the eastern region. Opening the new map originally was to search for her own daughter and the daughter of Gish Feniniao. But unexpectedly, The first one she met was actually her first child, Jing Jing, the Black Panther cub, and its father Beast, the one Suwan had used as a corpse toolman. However, the Black Panther and Geesh Phoenix Bird are just appetizers. There are still many talented spirit beasts and divine beasts in the East District, waiting for him to conquer them one by one. As soon as Suwan teleported to the tribe in the East District, he walked into the bustling market. He found a group of people gathered to watch something exciting. So, curious, he went over to join them. Suddenly, everything went dark before his eyes. Something was stuck right on his face. A young and excited voice cried out right in his face. Su Wan was just about to get angry, then realized the sound felt especially familiar. He couldn't help but freeze for a moment. He raised both hands to pull it off his face, only to find it was a round little Black Panther cub. Its golden vertical pupils were especially beautiful. Just then, a man rushed over. He claimed the cub was a new pet from the pet shop and asked him to return it. But the little Black Panther cub was wildly playing in Su Wan's arms, refusing to let go no matter what. Su Wan gently stroked the cub's smooth fur and learned that he had been kidnapped to the pet shop. So he rescued the little panther cub and brought him back to his room at the inn. But the cub still wouldn't leave his arms. Su Wan chuckled, finding the little guy pretty clingy. Let me give you a nice, fragrant bath, okay? The little Black Panther tilted his head and looked at him, making sure he wasn't going to be abandoned. Only then did it slowly relax its paws. The young voice was incredibly heartwarming. Su Wan took a small fish tank out from his system space and used fire magic to warm the cool water. Then he let the cub get in. The little Black Panther let out a cry and jumped into the water, splashing water everywhere. Su Wan couldn't help but laugh. They were both having so much fun, but didn't know that downstairs at the inn, a mysterious man was standing still, watching in their direction for a long time. After Su Wan finished bathing the little Black Panther, he fed him some baby food that the system had rewarded him with. After eating, the cub purred and fell asleep. Su Wan saw him lying on his bed, sprawled on his back with all fours in the air, totally relaxed, without a trace of alertness. A gentle smile appeared on his face. Little one, you'll stay with me from now on, okay? At this moment, Su Wan still didn't realize this was his own child, because the East District continent and his birthplace, the Forest Feather Beast Forest, were very far apart, and the journey was extremely dangerous. He had the system's teleportation device and could arrive instantly. But that big Black Panther, carrying the cub, couldn't possibly travel so fast. Patting the little Black Panther's round head, Su Wan thought of his first child and couldn't help feeling a bit sad. At this time, Su Wan's life and death system happened to be upgrading, unable to give him any hints. Just then, someone came to tell him that the little Black Panther's family had arrived. Su Wan instantly felt a strong sense of reluctance. He opened the window to look outside and saw a Black Panther as big as an elephant, standing in the courtyard below. Its golden vertical pupils stared at him deeply. Su Wan was startled. If it weren't for the panther's size and the timing being off, Su Wan would have thought this was that panther. He asked, "Who are you to the little Black Panther?" The giant Black Panther simply replied, "Fushu." Even the cub's real parent had come. No matter how unwilling, Su Wan had to return the cub. So he carried the little Black Panther outside. Seeing the little one asleep in his arms, safe and sound, the Black Panther finally calmed down. Lowering his head slowly, he signaled Su Wan to put the cub on his head. But Su Wan, almost out of habit, gave his giant head a good squeeze. The Black Panther froze on the spot and looked at him in silence. Su Wan awkwardly said, "Feels really nice. Even better than your son." The Black Panther opened his mouth and took the little cub from Su Wan's arms, then produced a bulging money pouch out of nowhere, dropped it for him, and prepared to leave with the cub. Su Wan opened the money pouch, and to his surprise there were several hundred gold coins inside. He thought it was a reward, but didn't know the Black Panther was giving his mates support money. On the Beast continent, because females are naturally delicate, they need a male's protection and support the most. Even when not around, the support money is never omitted. This is the price males must pay for having children with a female, for their entire lives. The Black Panther turned to leave with the cub, but looked back at Su Wan one more time. Only then did he continue walking. A few days later, Su Wan used this thank you money and the gold coins from the system to lease and open an inn. That day, the Black Panther cub appeared again. The little guy was pawing at the window across the street, looking pitiful and aggrieved, gazing at Su Wan, who was greeting guests at the inn door. The little Black Panther cried out to Su Vin. When Su Wan heard it, he threw some dried meat that the system had rewarded him into the window where the little panther was. A large, slender hand easily caught the little gift box. Su Wan didn't see the person's face, so he smiled at the cub. I'll play with you when I'm done, okay? With that, he turned and left. The little Black Panther instantly drooped his ears in disappointment. The panther beside him picked him up and held him close. He didn't recognize you. Don't sneak out here again. Okay, the little Black Panther curled up in his arms in frustration, ears drooping completely. It wasn't until Su Wan finished his work that he remembered he had forgotten the little Black Panther.
He hurried across to the tea house.
Just arrived on the second floor. When he saw a man standing by the door, that moment he was stunned. The man had long black hair cascading to his waist, long golden eyes with slanted corners, and a deep gaze. Extraordinarily handsome. But at this moment, those thin lips were pressed into a straight line, showing his mood was probably not the best. Su Wan went blank for a moment, then said, excuse me, can I get by? The man saw his unfamiliar expression and frowned tightly. You don't remember me? Su Wan thought for a bit, then shook his head in the end. With looks as handsome as yours, I would never forget if we'd met before. Sorry, you probably have the wrong person. I still have something to do, so I'll get going. With that, Su Wan stepped around him to look for the little panther. When the little Black Panther heard his voice, he immediately perked up and stood, wagging his tail ecstatically. So happy, huh? Su Wan picked him up, feeling an unconcealable smile appear on his face. All of the day's stress and busyness just melted away. The little Black Panther lay in his arms, adoringly licking his fingers, obviously trying to please him. The man standing behind him said, his name is Pei Yunyang, nicknamed Zhao Hao. Su Wan turned around and saw. It was the man he'd met at the stairs. You are? I'm his assistant, Pei Zhuan. The man walked to his side and said to the little Black Panther, we need to go home now. The little panther really didn't want to leave Su Wan. Su Wan rubbed his round head. Go back with your dad, okay? You can play together another day. We live at 1 Wanshu Street. After giving the address, Pei Zhuan reached out and took the little Black Panther from him. Because the cub clung tightly to Su Wan's arms, it was inevitable to brush against a very soft, special spot. You're welcome anytime. Su Wan smiled and replied, sure. Pei Zhuan could tell he was really just being polite, so he added, come visit and play with him on the 1st of every month. I'll pay you 10 gold coins. Su Wan was stunned. If that's too little, just name your price. No, you don't need to pay me. Su Wan looked at the little Black Panther lying in his arms, gazing at him with hope-filled eyes. I can come play with him, as long as I'm free, of course. Okay, Pei Zhuan hugged the little Black Panther and turned to leave, but then suddenly looked back and reminded him, tomorrow's the 1st. We'll be at 1 Wanshu Street. Su Wan was a bit surprised, but since he'd agreed, he definitely wouldn't go back on his word. So the next day, Su Wan headed there. Pei Zhuan had someone specially wait at the gate. This was the noble district. Ordinary people weren't allowed inside. As soon as Su Wan got off the carriage, a black figure pounced on him, almost knocking him over. Su Wan caught him. Zhao Hao, how did you know I'd arrived? Pei Zhuan followed right behind and looked at Su Wan. He's got a good nose and could smell your enchanting scent from afar. The man invited Su Wan inside and gave him a tour of the estate. Su Wan was impressed by the opulent garden. This place is so huge. It's just you and Zhao Hao living here. The man nodded. Su Wan looked down at Zhao Hao in his arms and found the little guy, since pouncing into his arms, had been behaving so obediently. Is it just you and Zhao Hao living here? The man nodded. Su Wan looked down at Zhao Hao in her arms. Ever since the little guy dove into her embrace, he'd been well behaved, with no intention of getting down at all. If you want to stay here, that's fine too. There are plenty of empty rooms. After Peijuan finished speaking, he walked straight ahead, as if he was afraid to hear Su Wan's answer. However, Su Wan still refused outright. I have an inn. I'm not short of a place to stay. By the way, where's your wife? Peijuan stopped. He turned back to look at her. Su Wan saw something complicated in his gaze. What's wrong? The man replied. In our kind, after a male has a child, the female who bears him children is his mate. Unless she dies. Or it clearly says she doesn't want him as a mate. Otherwise, he can never have another partner in his life. Su Wan was stunned. Is there really this kind of rule? Then her words suddenly stopped. She had given birth to 3 litters to 3 different males. So she technically had 3 mates already. Wait, after she gave birth, she would fall into a false death state. So they probably all thought she was dead. Since they thought she was gone, they likely wouldn't be hung up on her anymore. Thinking of this, Su Wan honestly felt relieved about the system arranging her fake death setting. It did save a lot of trouble. Seeing her go quiet, Peijuan took the initiative. What's wrong? Su Wan snapped out of it. It's nothing. Then where is Zhao Hao's mother? Peijuan glanced at her again, but didn't answer. He looked a little upset, turned away and kept walking. Zhao Hao suddenly grabbed her neck and howled softly, snuggling up to her. Peijuan usually never got this kind of affection from him. So hearing Zhao Hao's little whimpers, he retorted peevishly, his mother is dead. Su Wan awkwardly apologized. It's okay, I don't think he minds. Peijuan took her to the edge of a cliff. If you want to reach the mansion in the mountains, you have to climb up the cliff first. Peijuan told Su Wan to jump into his palm, to carry her up. His large, warm, almost scorching hand made her body tingle all over. How is your innate talent? She said this without thinking, just asked on instinct. The reproduction system was always pestering her to have kids. And as soon as she met a suitable male, her body would automatically enter work mode. Peijuan looked at her and replied, My level is half-spirit realm. Half-spirit realm, what's that? Su Wan had never heard of it before. Aren't innate powers ranked heaven, earth, profound, yellow, blue, green, red? Peijuan explained. Spirit level comes after heaven level. Half-spirit is the entry stage for spirit realm. Su Wan's eyes suddenly lit up. Oh my god. Then why is she still planning to find a man at the Divine Beast Academy? Isn't this male right in front of her super suitable? And he's even a level higher than heaven tier, he's spirit tier. But just then, a cold system voice interrupted. Warning to host. If the beast rank reproduction system hasn't evolved to spirit beast level, you cannot breed across ranks. The current male cannot mate with host yet. Please keep him as backup. Continue searching for other beast rank males. Her excitement was immediately doused. Ever since entering the winter zone, the system had been in upgrade mode, so she couldn't use it. Now it was finally back online, and brought good news. The system store had a new product, a pre-sale order, able to randomly increase a cub's innate talent by 1 grade. Up to 3 can be taken. Each costs 1 point. Su Wan immediately exchanged for 1. After her consciousness returned from the system, she realized she was lying in Peijuan's arms. They had already made it up the mountain. Zhao Hao was sleeping on her chest. Peijuan looked down at her and apologized. It's you. It's okay, guess I just lack talent. And my body isn't great either, Su Wan said, gazing tenderly at the sleeping Zhao Hao. I have a gift for him. If you're willing, that is. As long as he likes it, that's fine. Peijuan didn't object. Su Wan added, It's something to eat. Peijuan still nodded. But when he found out it was an elixir to enhance innate power, he was actually shocked. In the world of beasts, he had never heard of any pill that could increase innate talent level. And she was willing to give him such a precious elixir. While Zhao Hao was still drowsy, his father shoved a pill into his mouth. A violent burst of lightning erupted from within him, which meant he was advancing to the next level. Su Wan wasn't worried, just waited quietly for the result. But Peijuan was really anxious, since this was his one and only precious son. On the beast continent, the stronger a male's gifted grade, the harder it is to have kids. Peijuan looked at Su Wan, and she might not want to have a second child with him. Thinking back to 7 months ago, in the Forest Isle woods, Peijuan, all anxious, was licking the newborn Black Panther cub, making sure it was spotless. before coming towards Su Wan. But instead of being unconscious, she was dead. How could she have died? Is having kids really that dangerous? Su Wan lay there motionless, and he gently licked her face, her slender neck. His fingers had become as green as grass after gripping the soft turf so tightly, their green fingertips, trying gently to wake her. But Su Wan didn't move at all. The tribulation clouds in the sky were about to fully gather, and the rolling thunder rumbled like a death warrant, ready to strike at any moment. It was his final heavenly trial, to transform from common beast into a spiritual beast. He'd survived 99 tribulations before. He couldn't fail at the very last one. Peijuan leaned down and said to the woman on the ground, "Wait here for me. After I survive this trial, I'll come get you. I'll find a way to bring you back to life, even if I have to bargain with the god of death rules." He set up a barrier of lightning around Su Wan, then picked up the newborn Black Panther cub in his mouth. He needed body heat to survive, or he probably wouldn't make it. But he never expected, after returning from his tribulation, the cave would be empty. Only a single top-grade gold coin remained on the ground. He thought she had transformed into the coin after death, and was devastated over it. Little did he know Su Wan had long left, and that coin was left to disrupt the protective barrier, transformed from the corpses of other magical beasts. He never imagined that the woman was actually still alive. Now the lightning around Zhao Hao slowly faded away, and Peijuan was truly shocked. His son's innate talent had advanced from stage to D rank. Seeing it worked, Su Wan immediately took out 2 more pills, and explained to Peijuan, for cubs under 1-year-old, the limit is 3 pills. Any more won't work, Peijuan said seriously to Su Wan. I owe you a huge favor. He then fed the last 2 pills to the little panther. Su Wan smiled. No need to thank me. To be honest, I also have a Black Panther son, but I've never met him. I imagine he looks a lot like this little guy, so I also think of my son through him. Pei-Shing's eyes grew deeper as he looked at her, and finally turned to thick suspicion. He wanted to ask her directly, but he was hesitant and anxious, not daring to face the truth. Zhao Hao's talent finally settled at the heaven rank, and his lightning power evolved into amethyst thunder. The power of a single amethyst thunderbolt was at least 10 times stronger than an ordinary one. Peijuan was really delighted, bowed deeply to Su Wan again, and said she could ask him for anything in the future. Su Wan smiled and replied, "There's really no need to be so formal, but I might need your help with things eventually." She secretly added in her heart, "Like having a baby for me." Su Wan looked him over, more and more feeling that he was a great male. Peijuan agreed immediately. Because Zhao Hao advanced in rank, it drained his energy, so he fell into a deep sleep. By lunchtime, Peijuan prepared a sumptuous feast for Su Wan, with close to 100 dishes, which made Su Wan feel rather flattered. Peijuan was watching Su Wan eat, noting her food preferences, which was the main reason for making so much food. He watched to see what she wanted to eat first and most. Just then, a guest came to visit Pei Juan, so he left for a bit. A little while later, at night, Su Wan started chatting with the maid next to her. She learned that among the chinking Black Panther beasts, only Peijuan remained as a pureblood, and he was the clan chief of his kind. The reason Peijuan was born at all was because the old chief sacrificed his life for it. With his remaining lifespan and the blood of the Beast King, he offered it to the God of Life rules. And only then did he get an heir. Su Wan was shocked. Isn't that price a bit too high? Is having a baby really that hard? He kept pressing for answers. Did your team leader beg for the side account the same way? You answered proudly. Of course not. Young team leader. The team leader brought that back half a year ago while traveling in Senyu Inshrin Forest. He brought it back? It's not a half-blooded beast. It's a purebred Jingjin Black Panther beast. Su Wan froze. Half a year ago at Senyu Inshrin Forest. What a coincidence.
He briefly checked the system.
Xiaomei, let me ask you something. Is Shahao my first child? As soon as he asked,
His heart leaped into his throat.
yes. The meat bun in Su Wan's hand fell onto the table with a plop. No wonder Peijuan asked him that question at the tea house. He just had never seen that face before. He had to adapt to circumstances. He was completely charred at the time. To be precise, his upper body was shredded. If it wasn't to get pregnant quickly and save his life, He would have never done it with her. But didn't he have a half-spirit realm talent? How could he have had Xiaohao with me?
His injury was caused by crossing tribulation then.
His cultivation was suppressed to the profound level, so you were able to have a profound level child. After the successful tribulation, he evolved into half-spirit realm. Suwan was a bit speechless. So basically, I took advantage of a loophole. But if he was already half-spirit realm at the time, then there's no way he could have gotten pregnant within an hour, and he would not have survived.
He opened the system store again to check carefully.
This time he noticed that the talent-boosting pills can only be used on your own biological child. That's why it only costs 1 point to redeem a side account. It's not just a resemblance.
He really is his own child.
No wonder he's so close to him. Peizu must know and already recognized me, but he refuses to tell me. Why? Is he afraid I'll fight him for the child? Suwan couldn't bother eating anymore. He returned to the room where Xiaohao was sleeping, picked up the sleeping Xiaohao and kissed him, and in the next instant put him inside. The system space. That's the space the system created just for keeping kids. Now it comes in handy. Then he turned into a little white mouse again, opened the system map, and slipped away along the corner of a secluded wall. If he could sneak the kid away, then I can make him feel what it's like to lose a child too. I'll come back after he's done compensating and entertaining guests. Su Wan realized the woman and his son were both missing. Could it be that he took the child away? His residence didn't have any defensive barrier. As soon as Xiaohao leaves, he'd be the first to notice. Or could someone have kidnapped them both? At the thought, Pei Zhuan's face darkened, to snatch people away right under his nose without a sound. There's only one in the entire capital who could do that. That would be the Shou Emperor. Ziki himself is at half-spirit realm, but the Shou Emperor is already at the peak of spirit realm. Pei Zhuan immediately headed toward the Shou Emperor's palace. Little did he know, the two whom he worried about were happily flying around. The newly leveled up little panther not only grew much bigger, but could even talk. Xiaohao woke up to find his mom taking him out to play. Happily he laid down. Mom, you can ride on my back. I'll take you somewhere fun. All right, my son is so considerate. Su Wan climbed onto Xiaohao's back and patted his round head. As soon as he said, let's go, Xiaohao disappeared like a flash of lightning. The two soared across the sky. They were moving so fast, Su Wan couldn't even open his eyes. In the end, Xiaohao stopped at the Shou Emperor's seaside garden. Dad used to bring me here for baths all the time. Su Wan looked around, alert. The Shou Emperor. Isn't this supposed to be a restricted area? He didn't want to get involved in trouble. Just as he was about to suggest another place, the little guy suddenly dived into the water and started playing happily, seeing how much fun he was having. Su Wan thought there's no way they'd be leaving anytime soon. So he opened the system map to check, to see if anyone was around. But just as he looked, his whole body tensed up. His hands and feet went numb. Right behind him, less than 3 steps away, stood a living, breathing person. That person was very tall, wearing a bathrobe, with an alluring face. If it weren't for his exposed chest proving he was male, he would have thought it was a stunningly tall beauty. Those violet eyes were staring at him intently, making Su Wan shiver all over. Only he could see the system's map, so the person didn't realize he'd been spotted. Su Wan suppressed his fear, jumped into the water, and quickly swam toward Xiaohao. His plan was to put him into the system space, and then teleport away immediately. But just then, Pei Zhuan dropped from the sky. He had caught Su Wan and Xiaohao's scent.
He glared at the thin, yellow Ziki, his eyes instantly red.
A fierce battle was about to erupt. The Black Panther chased his wife all the way to the thin yellow family, thinking the Shou Emperor had stolen his wife and son. The Shou Emperor got blamed for nothing, and was furious. They fought for 3 days and nights, while the real culprits teleported away with the kid. The parent and child arrived at Beast Forest. Su Wan wanted to see how strong his son was after leveling up, so he let him fight a magical beast alone. The little Black Panther ran around screaming, calling for his mom the whole time. Help! He had all that talent, but hasn't learned any skills yet. He had no idea how to use his gifts for combat. Su Wan was about to help, but the system's Xiaomei stopped him. Since you want to train him, why not let him handle it on his own first? Seeing that Su Wan was still worried, the system Open the store page. The store offers a bodyguard service. It can block one fatal attack for the host child. Each costs 100 points. Suwon got interested. He asked if when his child is in danger, this could work like teleportation, to quickly escape from danger. It can be set to teleport into the system space, but that costs an extra 50 points. Is the system space where I put things? Yes, that's right. Your child will have the absolute safest protection. Suwon immediately decided to get it for all 5 kids. He originally just wanted insurance, but never expected this choice would one day save his child's life. He knew, when he held another bloody child in his arms, how grateful he was for today's decision. Meanwhile, the little Black Panther was almost caught by the spider monster's web. In desperation, a heavenly gray pressure suddenly emerged. A purple gold lightning struck the spider monster, frying it to a crisp. Suwon was so proud. My son is amazing. But the birth system poured cold water on him. Host, you should consider having another child. Suwon was a bit annoyed. I'll look for someone at the Divine Beast Academy to be a partner and have kids. For now, I need to train my child. He wasn't a baby-making machine, being pushed every minute to have a child. Of course he resented it. And to be honest, Suwon had gotten a bit lazy. With nearly 50,000 points, he could exchange them all for enough lifespan to live over 100 years. But the birth system wouldn't let him relax, especially after finding another critical male. It reminded him coldly, if within 3 months, the host doesn't get pregnant, the birth system will assume the host refuses to have children. The rebirth to Earth plan will be terminated. Suwan's face fell. I never said I wouldn't in 3 months. Isn't that a bit harsh? This condition was set by you, the host. Before binding with the birth system, Suwon remembered his previous life. After he died to get this second chance at life. He did indeed say that. Thinking about his adoptive mother still on Earth, he took a deep breath and replied, I know. But as soon as he said that, Suwon suddenly felt dizzy. He instantly vanished from where he stood. And right after he left, Pei Xuan finally caught up. As soon as he landed, he saw his son kill a profound-level monster. Too shocked to say a word, the little panther dug out a high-grade gold coin from the monster's corpse, excited to give it to his mom. But to his disappointment, Suwon was nowhere to be seen. Pei Xuan stepped up and praised the little one. But the kid was still sad. Dad, where's Mom? Pei Xuan stepped forward. He praised the little one a few times. But the little one still looked down. Where are Daddy and Mommy? Pei Xuan's face darkened. But he still found an excuse to explain to his son.
He should be heading back to the inn.
Beast Academy opens tomorrow. Your mother has to take the entrance exam. Zhao Hao is still young. He was easily soothed with a few words. Pei Shan transformed into his beast form. He put the little Black Panther on his back. Want to go hunt more monster beasts with Dad? Sure. Mom said she wants to buy a dress. It's expensive, so I'll earn money to buy Mom a dress. Pei Shan agreed softly. Then he slowly carried her deeper into the beast forest. But his gaze was full of determination and a resolve to win no matter what. Meanwhile, Lu Wan was standing in her room. Her face looked extremely unpleasant. Xiao Mei, what are you doing? This time, the teleport was Xiao Mei's decision, but his points were still deducted. You took the cub, triggered a radiation refresh. The system detected killing intent on Fusho. To ensure the host's safety, emergency teleport was activated. Suwon frowned. She didn't really trust the system. You mean Pei Xuan wants to kill me? I gave birth to his child. For Fushuo, females who had children are just tools for reproduction. They're nothing but childbearing tools. Suwon suddenly became angry. But she had to admit, he was telling a cold, hard truth. Each other's existence is just as tools. Suddenly, the system issued a warning. Detected major emotional fluctuations in host. Initiating emotional cache purge. The next second, Suwon froze. A wave of indescribable sadness welled up inside her, but soon disappeared. The next day, as planned, she went to take the entrance test for Beast Academy. Beast Academy is going to recruit the continent's brightest youths, a gathering place for so many top-quality tools. Of course, Suwon couldn't miss it. But during admissions, something unexpected happened. To enter Beast Academy, female fertility is the first requirement. A single attempt is called talent. But when Su Wan's blood dripped onto the lodestone, the lodestone didn't react at all. Su Wan thought to herself, "Yep, another dud." The test instructor first determined she was infertile. The speaker was a gentle, elegant man. This was his first time encountering this kind of situation. Maybe Su Wan's fertility was so extraordinary that it exceeded the stone's sensing range. But the stone never reacted to her blood. So Su Wan was already pretty calm about it. So she smiled and said to the teacher, right? Got the same result back home. The teacher then asked, "What's your talent?" Su Wan randomly channeled her fire energy. A dazzling fireball appeared in her palm. The test instructor's eyes grew wider. Fire type. The test instructor's eyes grew wider. Fire type. Su Wan nodded. Yeah, not a very high talent. The instructor didn't speak for a long while. After realizing, he stood up in a hurry. Excitedly said, "My family name is Zong. I'm an Earth user. Come with me." The two went to the talent testing hall. Inside, a long line had formed. At least 50 people. Su Wan thought it'd take forever for her turn. Unexpectedly, Teacher Zong let her cut the line. Some of the examinees in line were annoyed. But when they saw the one who cut was a female, and so pretty, their ears turned red. Some almost got a nosebleed. A few of the males gulped. Su Wan apologized to them, then began the test. She placed her hand on the talent test pillar, slowly released her fire energy. The talent pillar ranks from lowest to highest are red, green, blue, yellow, black, emperor, heaven. Su Wan's red flame rose up the pillar. First was the red level, but red level quickly passed. Then came green, then blue. Finally, it slowly stopped at yellow. The testing hall went dead silent, then erupted with excitement. All the applicants stared in shock. "Oh my God, it's a fire type!" How many years has it been since one appeared? When was the last time the academy had a fire user? Who is this? Which major family is she from? A golden fire type offspring? Teacher Zong was beyond thrilled. He personally took his prize student to handle the enrollment formalities. He teased Su Wan with a laugh. "A golden fire type with zero fertility. Are you sure you weren't born the wrong gender?" Su Wan was a bit embarrassed. Teacher Zong brought her to his office. But Su Wan saw that at Teacher Zong's desk sat a teenager, his legs crossed, with short red hair and silver earrings, setting off his sharp features. He looked cool and handsome. His body was tall and athletic. His pretty face had a hint of playfulness and carefreeness. The system's excited voice sounded. "His talent is peak heaven rank." Su Wan got the hint. Zhao Mei totally approves bagging him. Teacher Zong smiled. "He's my most talented student ever. He's my prized protege. Zong Silly, this is Su Wan, this year's freshman. Get to know each other." Zong Silly glanced at Su Wan. "What do you mean? You want me to mentor her?" Teacher Zong replied calmly. "She's fire type. Will you or not?" Zong Silly sat up straight, studied Su Wan. "Let's see if she offends Senior Silly." With that, Su Wan raised her hand and threw a fireball at him. Zong Silly used his wood powers to counter. In no time,
He turned to Teacher Zong and said,
"I'll take her." Su Wan politely bowed. "Thank you, Senior Silly." Silly nodded and was about to leave with her. After Su Wan bowed to Teacher Zong in thanks, she followed Zong Silly out. Teacher Zong watched the two leave, a suspicious auntie smile on his face. Another teacher came up, asked, "What's that about? Trying to set them up?" "Well, not necessarily. My son's talent is way too high.
He's already at the threshold of spirit realm.
Just needs one opportunity to cross over. The old man has some schemes." Meanwhile, the two didn't disappoint him. Zong Silly glanced back at Su Wan. Her waist-length snow-white hair flowed behind her, and her beautiful, enchanting eyes fluttered flirtatiously, like they could steal anyone's soul. He couldn't help but ask, "How old are you?" Su Wan blinked. "Not telling you. Besides, asking a girl's age out of the blue is really rude, you know?" By now the weather was turning gloomy. Zong Silly said, "Looks like it's going to rain. I'll go get an umbrella from the dorm. Wait here." As soon as he finished, Zong Silly's figure disappeared instantly. That teleportation skill exclusive to the heaven rank. It's really enviable. Su Wan's lips curled up. She asked System Xiaomei in her heart, If I take him down, how many levels can your system upgrade? If we use the special blood pill that increases fetal talent, it can be upgraded to at least level 80? What kind of host is he? You'll know after having the baby. What's it matter to tell me now? It's just a matter of time. At this moment, Zong Silly came back. He was holding 2 umbrellas. One black, one red. Su Wan took the umbrellas. After opening them, she noticed there were some beautiful white lily of the valley painted on the umbrella. She smiled and praised how pretty the umbrella was. Zong Silly looked a bit uneasy. Those white lily of the valley were made with his wood-type magic, stamping real lila of the valley onto the umbrella. As he looked at Su Wan's smiling face, Zong Silly was momentarily dazed, but he quickly turned away. Just then, Su Wan suddenly spoke. She asked Zong Silly if he wanted to have a baby with her. The man's body instantly froze. His legs wouldn't obey him anymore. What did you say? I said I want to have a child with you. Everyone in the company blushed. We men might look easygoing, but actually, we're pretty innocent. It's probably the first time he's met someone so shameless and so forward with their intentions. Just coming up and saying she wanted to have a baby with him. Take your time to think about it. I heard there's a hunting test in 2 days. Wait until you pass it, then give me an answer. Or I'd rather you answer me with your actions. After saying this, Su Wan walked away with the umbrella, leaving Zong Silly standing there in a daze, unable to snap out of it for a long time. 2 days later, the hunting test arrived quickly. This was the first exam after enrollment. Su Wan took it very seriously. However, at the entrance to the hunting grounds, he was stopped by a blue-haired, sword-wielding young man. The man's name was Rongwu. He was highly gifted, but had a rebellious personality, and was quite arrogant. He immediately started harassing Su Wan in a nearly aggressive way. Before he could even speak, Su Wan's hand was grabbed by Zong Silly, who pulled him toward the teleportation array. The teleportation array is about to activate. Zong Silly's tone was clearly a bit displeased. Su Wan suddenly calmed down. This is actually his primary target. Senior Silly, young Master Rong is really disrespectful. I want to teach him a lesson. He's got something wrong with his head. Aren't you just as crazy as he is? Zong Silly dragged him into the teleportation array. Crazy in the head. Su Wan gave Longwu a puzzled look. Zong Silly took a big step, blocking his line of sight.
He lowered his head and said, I'll agree to your request.
Su Wan was caught off guard and didn't react immediately. Agree to what? Zhao Mei got anxious. Have a baby, of course. Hurry up and settle things with him. He's about to enter the spirit communing stage. After that, you won't be able to have a child. Su Wan immediately shivered and grabbed Zong Silly. All right, let's not go hunting anymore. Let's leave right now. The only reason Zong Silly said anything was because Su Wan kept staring at Rongwu, which was making him feel annoyed. But now, thanks to Su Wan, his face was red all the way to his neck. Let's finish the trial first. It's just a matter of catching a few magic beasts. I'll help you with that. The rest of the time can be for, Su Wan squinted and teased him. For what, exactly? Zong Silly nervously turned his head away. He tossed a high-grade gold coin, activating the teleportation array. After a wave of familiar dizziness, Su Wan found himself back in the natural beast realm. The goal of this trial is to kill a few phantom beasts, which wasn't difficult for Su Wan. Right now, he had something more important to do. So he quietly whispered to Zong Silly, how about this? Let's not hunt the phantom beasts yet. Let's go make a baby first. According to what Zhao Mei said, he needed to get pregnant with Zong Silly's child as soon as possible. Otherwise, once he stepped into the semi-spirit stage, he'd have to pick a different target. Zong Silly was shocked by his Adam's apple. Are you in your breeding phase right now? Wait, does he even have that phase? Normally, everyone has a breeding period, but the host doesn't. But since he said so, Su Wan decided to go along with it. Yeah, I want to. Can you give it to me? Zong Silly's face instantly turned beet red. First, finish the trial task. Then it's time to run away. Su Wan sighed. Looks like I can't rush him too much. Host, I've got medicine for that. Su Wan was speechless. Turns out someone was even more anxious than him. He'd originally planned to just focus on the mission, but before long, they unexpectedly passed by a very well-hidden cave. Su Wan immediately felt fired up. used the excuse to take a rest, and lured his senior brother to the hidden cave. Then he got a floating elixir from the system, mixed it into a pot of wine, and handed it to his senior brother. Zong-Sili drank 7 gulps down, and his face started getting hot. Su-Wan took the initiative, reaching out to wrap his arms around his waist. He couldn't help but think, what a great waste. It felt like it was going to be exhausting, but also a very exciting experience. The moment Su-Wan hugged him, Zong-Sili understood why he brought him here. Looks like he really is in heat, and he's afraid I won't help. So he's been seducing me step by step. Are you really ready to do this with me? Zong-Sili's voice was especially low and husky, like the calm before a storm. Su-Wan had a bad feeling about this. It probably wasn't just exhausting and exciting. It might actually be scary. But once you string the bow, there's no turning back. He could only grit his teeth and press forward. What? Are you afraid you can't handle it? Even on his deathbed, he had to get the last word in. But the next second, his lips were blocked. With absolute dominance, he was taken over. There had been many rocks on the ground, but at some point they'd vanished, and soft, comfortable cushions and blankets had been laid out. You'll find out what I'm capable of. They say young men are reckless with love, and with one move, it's hard to stop. For 3 full days and nights, Su-Wan didn't come out of the cave, and he was truly suffering but happy. At least the system had some restraint, blocking all outside signals in advance, and refusing to peek until everything was over. But by the 5th day, when Zong-Sili still wanted to continue with Su-Wan, he finally had to stop, because his talent suddenly advanced, going from sky-level peak to semi-spirit realm. And that bottleneck, which he thought would take 10 years to break through, he crossed straight into the semi-spirit realm. Spiritual energy from all around instantly flooded into his body. He immediately pulled out from Su-Wan, sat cross-legged, and began fervently absorbing spiritual energy. Su-Wan finally got a break. While he was busy cultivating, Su-Wan fetched a fertility pill from the system store, along with a cleansing pill, and took them both. Young men really are energetic. Even someone as experienced as me could barely handle it. If it weren't for the recovery pill, I might have died halfway. But at least he successfully got pregnant. Who knows how long passed. But after Zong-Sili finished advancing, he saw Su-Wan already asleep nearby. Now, she was no longer in her basic beast form, but had evolved into a spirit beast. Her lifespan had gone from a maximum of 150 years to 700 years. As he looked at the sleeping Su-Wan, there was some shyness in his eyes, but more than anything, it was a full, unspeakable happiness, as if, in this moment, he'd do anything for him, even die, and he wouldn't be afraid at all. So that's what it feels like. No wonder Chaozi and the others love it so much. Even I can't hold back. If he wasn't asleep, they'd probably go for another round. Su-Wan woke up from hunger. Essence pills boost the baby's talent, but they're not friendly to the mother. He was starving again. When Zong-Sili saw he was awake, he immediately turned to look. Do you have any spiritual herbs or treasures? Unexpectedly, the man conjured a pile of food out of thin air. It turns out, besides his wood affinity, he also had a spatial talent. Su-Wan suddenly understood. So that's why. No wonder the system was so anxious for me to get him. A talent like this, especially a rule-based affinity like space, is extremely rare and valuable. I guess my child with him won't be ordinary. But I still don't know his real form. The food in front of him just wasn't enough. Go hunting. And if you see any spiritual herbs or treasures, bring them back for me too. Zong-Sili thought he didn't like the food. Wants to eat fresh meat. Immediately replied, Okay, I'll go to this cave right now. I've set up an illusion formation outside. No one from outside can get in. You should rest a bit longer. Su-Wan nodded, extremely satisfied. After he left, she grabbed a piece of braised meat and started eating. But after finishing all the food in front of her, she also devoured everything from her system space. Su-Wan still didn't feel full at all. This essence pill is really a killer. Su-Wan clutched her hunger-stricken, aching stomach. She instinctively felt this pregnancy wouldn't be easy, maybe even tougher than the one with Ming Lingyuan. Just as she was thinking about the pregnancy with Ming Lingyuan, suddenly she sensed something in her system space. Something new appeared. A little chick, completely bald without feathers, and its belly had been split open. She froze for quite a while. Then Suwon suddenly realized this was her own child. Suwon quickly took the little one out from her system space. Seeing her so miserable, rage instantly erupted to the extreme. Who did this? Who dared to hurt my child? Zhao Mei was originally in hibernation. She suddenly noticed her host's anger level was skyrocketing. Immediately initiated the program. Check the host's condition. It's the Ghost City Phoenix bird, the host's fifth offspring. I know I just gave birth to a bird. Named Ming Yujin. Female. Inherited Ghost Phoenix Bird D-Class Fire Talent Skill. Quasi-Heaven Grade Talent Skill. Quasi-Law of Darkness. Su Wan's hand trembled slightly, holding the miserable little one, unsure if it's alive or dead. The little one cautiously asked, "Is she still alive?"
Host.
The doppelganger talisman you prepared for your offspring worked. She's still alive. The reason for being cut open was her talent soul pearl was taken. Such pain of losing a child drove Su Wan out of control. The system spoke up after she calmed down. Host, you can use 100,000 points to restore the purple. Lost talent soul pearl. Want to restore it. Okay, host. The hollow inside the little phoenix was split open. A warm, gentle light now shone in her chest. That light quickly spread. Eventually, it enveloped her tiny body. The whole process took a day. Su Wan pressed her face to her daughter's body with heartache. Then, she carefully put her daughter away again. The system spoke up, its tone icy cold. Since you can't raise a child properly, then you don't need to raise one. Then she asked the system, I want to know who hurt her. Host, please wait a moment. Soon Xiaomi played a video for Su Wan. Inside a luxuriously decorated room, a newborn chick was curled up on the bed, sleeping. Suddenly, a man shrouded in demonic energy burst in holding a short dagger. He grabbed the chick at once. A rough voice rang out. The ultimate power of the dark rule may be incomplete, but the value is in its recent birth. It's easy to seize. The bird sensed it was in mortal danger. It spat out a fireball, crying out anxiously. The fireball hit the intruder's head, burning off the brim on one side of his hat. Half his face was revealed. His face was covered in densely tattooed blue lettering. Su Wan quickly paused the video and zoomed in on the image. Those blue letters looked like some kind of spell. Su Wan asked if the letters could be translated. They're a type of rune from the Dark Continent. The system cannot provide a translation. This man is a magical beast from the Dark Continent. He's a hybrid of a magical beast and a beastman. In today's terms, that's known as a phantom beast. No wonder he can take human form, speak human language, and keep playing the video. Hyo Yiren stared at the chick in surprise. It even has fire-based talents. Mingming Abyss. Oh, Mingming Abyss. I never thought you'd have offspring, let alone with such remarkable talent. Too bad, she's destined to become a garment for the dead. The man's knife flashed down. He cut open the chick's chest. His gaze was greedy and bloody, staring at the glowing pearl.
He reached out with sharp black claws
And snatched away the little girl's innate soul pearl. When Suwon saw this, her heart ached so much. She was practically bleeding. At last, the chick let out a weak, miserable shriek. And it died. The gray-robed man took out a bottle of thick black liquid. He poured it over the chick's corpse. In the blink of an eye, the corpse dissolved into a little puddle of blood. Satisfied, the gray-robed man left. After he left, the chick that had turned into blood transformed once more into a silvery talisman. A gust of wind blew by. The talisman turned to dust and drifted away with the wind. The video ended. Su Wan was left shaken for a long time. Who's that gray-robed man? I want him dead. Host, your body cannot be used as a tool for revenge. Then who is he?
He's Magli, the left-hand demon general of the third demon king on the Peace Continent.
Can you teleport me to his side? I want to kill him myself. Host, you are currently pregnant. Cross-continent teleportation is temporarily unavailable. So what about my daughter's innate soul pearl? Can it be recovered? Host, you've already spent points to recreate an innate soul pearl for Zai's. The original soul pearl can also be retrieved. Both soul pearls can be fused with the dark rule, becoming one and the same, completely intact. At that moment, Zhang Salai returned. He saw that Su Wan looked very unwell and was obviously angry. He felt a jolt of panic. Su Wan, what's wrong? I want to kill the phantom beast, since I can't get to the Dark Continent for now, and can't take revenge on the fiend myself. Then I'll just kill phantom beasts. I'll slaughter every one of them. I'll lure him here. Zong Sili thought he was worried about the demon-slaying trial. This round's trial requires every academy to slay at least one phantom beast. It's already taken care of. Then, he took out a magic core from another dimension. Along with a big chunk of cleaned venison, Su-wan stared fixedly at the gray magic core, while stuffing the meat into her mouth. Chewing forcefully, he finished the whole deer quickly. But Su-wan still wasn't full. Zong Sili didn't expect him to eat so much. I'll go hunting again right away. Is there any heavenly treasure? Hope I find 1,000-year-old ginseng plant. Just 2 would last months. Su-wan told him to put it down, then urged him to keep hunting. A dazed Zong Sili was rushed out, somewhat worried something is wrong with Su-wan's body. He had to return to the academy first, to ask old Zong what's happening. Su-wan began looking for heavenly treasures. 1,000-year-old ginseng. Su-wan chewed it up like it was a carrot, and swallowed it down. That bottomless hunger finally eased a bit. Then he ate the 9-petal lotus as well. The 9-petal lotus was crunchy and sweet. It was delicious finally, he was truly full and satisfied. He prepared to go out and slay phantom beasts. Xiaomi, I'm going out to kill phantom beasts. You have to help me. You watched my daughter be born, after all. You can't just let a beast harm her for nothing. And not even dare say a word. Rest assured, host. The system will absolutely keep you safe. Let's get going then. Su-wan was now consumed with the fury of revenge. She opened the system shop and began searching for weapons. But every weapon was extremely expensive. A pistol cost 1,500 points. When she gave birth to her first child, the little Black Panther, she only got rewarded 1,000 points. Even a hand grenade cost 50 points each. But Su-wan didn't hesitate to purchase them. Just then, the system shop suddenly launched a special weapons sale. A K-12 for only 10 points, with 5,000 rounds of ammo, plus a tongue sword, for an unbelievable 3 points. Su-wan's eyes lit up. Nice work, Shami. You rock, but these phantom beasts are tough-skinned and thick-fleshed. Bullets don't even penetrate. Su-wan put the gun away right away, and drew the tongue sword instead. Su-wan immediately put the gun away, and drew the tongue sword. Man and system cooperated flawlessly. The system handled locating the magic beasts, while Su-wan made it to the battlefield, and slaughtered them all. The Tang sword from the system was incredibly sharp. Not even the weapons of Beastland could compare. Half a day passed. All 20 phantom beasts in the entire beast forest met their end under her sword. The teacher, chaperones, and other students could barely believe this year's freshmen was so fierce. How are older students supposed to make a living? Not even a phantom beast left. Su-wan went to guard the spatial rift connecting the two realms, killing every phantom beast that came through. But unexpectedly, the person he wanted revenge on never appeared. Instead, another extremely terrifying being showed up, a behemoth. This place is dangerous. Host preparing to initiate teleportation, Xiaomi confirmed. Su-wan was no match for the behemoth. For his and his unborn child's safety, she decided to retreat. Just as Su-wan was about to speak, she noticed a green light spot had appeared on the system map, and quickly approached him. Someone, come here. It was Zong Sili rushing back. Su-wan had no intention of stopping. She immediately activated teleportation. The next second, her figure vanished on the spot. Anyway, senior brother was already in semi-tranquility. It's still that spatial Dao mystic Fang beast. It's perfect for him to practice with. Moosli, listen to me. Thank you. Because of you, I fought all afternoon. When I got back to my inn, I fell asleep the moment I finished everything. He was a bit impulsive today. I'm still pregnant. By now, I was completely out of energy. I ended up sleeping for a whole day and night. When he woke up, he found someone keeping watch by the bed. It wasn't Zong Sili. Why are you here? Something happened in the woods. All examinees were sent back first. Zong Sili poured him a glass of water. Su-wan drank it. A wave of hunger hit. She looked at him helplessly. I want to eat a 9-petal lotus. She wiped out all 4 9-petal lotuses in the man's space. Su-wan was still hungry. She looked up. and saw Su Silly looking at her with a complicated expression. Do you want some too? No, I'm not eating. It's just that this seems like a super tonic. Are you sure it's okay to eat this much? Exactly, because it's a super tonic. That's why I need to eat it. Su Wan touched her own belly. I'm pregnant. You need to take care of getting food. Everyone in the company was dumbfounded. Really, is that true? I'm very sure. But my old man said your test results showed you were infertile. Well, if I wasn't pregnant, wouldn't I die from overeating so many heavenly treasures? Su Wan even ate the dried stems of the 9-petal lotus in the end. By the way, what about the lotus root? Isn't it even more nourishing? Yes, it's just that the petals are pretty mild. The root is a lot more potent. Zong Silly was still a little confused. Old Zong always said, because he was born with a heavenly grade gift, so he'd already prepared himself for the possibility of never having grandchildren in the future. It's not just him. Even the Emperor Xiaowang has no children of his own. So even though he has now advanced to the half-spirit level, old Patriarch Zong still isn't too happy, because the stronger his cultivation gets, the slimmer his hope for grandchildren becomes. Su Wan rubbed her still hungry stomach, ordered me to go dig up some lotus root, and I'm still not full. I stumbled out of the temple in a daze. Right at that moment, the little phoenix bird in my storage space woke up. The little one has already recovered its innate talent. The soul beach cheerfully leapt into his arms. Mingyu never changed his real name. He just gave him a nickname, called Mang Mang. Zong Silly quickly returned carrying a huge sack, filled with wine-marinated lotus root. He couldn't help but advise, even I can only eat one bite of this stuff. Are you sure you want to eat it? Su Wan was absolutely sure, and tossed him a small, dusty chick. This is my daughter Mang Mang. From now on, she call you Daddy Ju. The little chick adapted quickly, happily cuddling in his palm. She really treated him like her real dad, with a nearly heavenly level talent. He still can't speak human words, but with those lively little eyes, nobody would mistake him for an ordinary pet bird. Zhu Silly looked at the little chick in his arms, too shocked to say a word. He even broke into a cold sweat on his forehead. That Mang Mang, she's a Guiche phoenix bird, and a pureblood with near heavenly level talent. Most importantly, she's a female, a heavenly level female. That's almost unheard of. Where did you steal her from? What do you mean I stole her? I'm her mother. I was pregnant with her for a month. Biological. Su Wan munched on crisp lotus root and noticed Mang Mang staring at him longingly. So she broke off a little piece for her daughter to try. Your dad picked this himself. Across from her, Zong Silly felt like his brain wasn't working. There's no way he could really give birth. But now, not only did she say she was carrying my child, she even gifted me a heavenly level phoenix daughter. Will I be hunted by the Guiche Phoenix clan? Mang Mang chirped nonstop as she ate, clearly loving it. Su Wan told the still confused Zong Silly, of course you have the right to refuse. I won't blame you. No. I'd love to be her dad. But does her real father agree? He doesn't have the right anymore. What does that mean? Is there really a dad? Guiche phoenix birds are super vengeful, third in the beast continent rankings. Let's not talk about why. Anyway, he can't keep this daughter. Custody is with me now. If you don't want the baby in my belly, I can raise it myself. I do. It doesn't matter whose child you're pregnant with. I'll take them all. No matter if the kid is mine or not. As long as there are kids. That's big status among males. But with my kind of talent, I can only be a stepdad. No wonder the moment we met, he bluntly wanted to share a bed with me. Turns out he was looking for a dad for the child. Whatever the case, since I'm already on the pirate ship, I'm going along with it. A heavenly level daughter, plus the unborn one. I'll accept them all. Su Wan could tell from his expression that he was overthinking it. So she explained, it's yours, 4 days and 3 nights. Kid's dad, you gotta have some confidence in yourself. I'm really looking forward to this baby too. Zhao Mei already told him, this one is a single birth again. And the talent is still undetermined for now. Told him to eat more, to help the talent develop. Fine, they're all my kids. Zhu Silly looked at him, eyes gentle and understanding. Clearly he didn't believe him. Su Wan shot him a look, then couldn't be bothered to explain further. What kind of look is that? Though his kids all look different, he'd never mess around. Whoever the father is, that's who it is. Unless the guy loses his right and isn't fit to be a dad. After Mang Mang finished eating, she dozed off in Zhu Silly's arms, clearly attached to him. Some say the phoenix bird cries in grievance. If they could see this scene, they'd probably faint from rage. Why, just because you have milk, you're the dad now. Your real dad is right here. Zong Silly thought. Today I became a dad twice. I'm really happy. So full of love. Having too many sons is kind of a problem too. Meanwhile, Zong Silly happily went to tell his dad the good news. At this moment, the old man was complaining to the headmaster. The higher the talent, the harder it is to have kids. With my son's talent so high, our Zong family might really end here. But just then his son walked in with a phoenix bird and told the old man right up front, "From now on, this is your granddaughter." Old Song looked over the little one before him. Suddenly his eyes widened. If it's really a phoenix hatchling, how is that possible? Where did you get her? How is she your daughter? Su-wan gave birth to her, and Su-wan joined me in Shulin, so her daughter is naturally mine too. Old Zong rubbed his ears, as if he couldn't believe it. Wasn't that girl supposed to be infertile? So now I really do have hope for grandkids. He was just about to pick up the phoenix for a good look, thinking this will be his granddaughter from now on, when the headmaster snatched it away. Wait, this child has to be reported to His Majesty the Holy Emperor. Let His Majesty decide. Dean Ziyuan is Prince Qi's cousin. So of course she sided with her own cousin Zong Silly. She refused without even thinking. No way, the child belongs to Su-wan. Even if His Majesty wants to see her, he'd need her permission first. The truth is,
He was afraid the Beast Emperor might try to take Mang Mang.
the main beast lineage is naturally more fertile than any other race. And Mang Mang was already half condensing Qi level at birth. It was obvious. She'd be fought over when she grows up. And that Beast Emperor guy has no scruples. What if he wants to raise Mang Mang and have her give him kids later? Actually, Zong Silly was way overthinking it. The Beast Emperor actually had his eye on your wife. Zong Silly had only been caring for the kid a few days before the academy sent him off to fight magic beasts. Mang Mang was back with Su-wan again. Recently, a lot of rifts have appeared in the eastern continent, with countless illusion beasts pouring out of them, capturing large numbers of females and taking them back to the dark continent. Su-wan was nursing her pregnancy at the inn, while caring for Mang Mang, and bought a pre-sale upgrade for talent from the system mall. She helped the old guy raise his talent to heavenly rank, after which he could speak human language. But soon, an uninvited guest disrupted the peace. Inside the inn, Mang Mang gently pecked Su-wan's finger. "Mom, where did Dad go?" "Your dad went to slay bad guys." "What's a bad guy?" "They're illusion beasts. Baby mom's wish is to wipe out every illusion beast. Anyone who ever bullied you will pay a terrible price." At that moment, a voice suddenly came from the inn's entrance. "When I lost my daughter, what do I have to pay?" The man had been standing at the door for who knows how long. He looked disheveled. His voice was hoarse. His tone was full of regret. Su-wan held Mang Mang in her arms. She kissed her adorable face. "Sweetheart, why don't you go back to sleep for a while?" Mang Mang tugged and squealed. She wanted to turn her head to see who had arrived. But Su-wan immediately put her into the system space. The man's condition was really not good. Silver hair, messy and unruly. His face was covered with stubble. And those silver eyes, although much dimmer now, they still shone with a unique nobility and glamour. Su-wan's face was expressionless. Guest looking for lodging? Ning Lin-yuan walked to the front desk to check in. He stared straight at her, as if trying to see into the depths of her heart. "You were supposed to be dead. How did you come back to life? Why didn't you come to find me? And where did this daughter come from? But you were pregnant back then. I heard rodent clans have double wombs. The female carries a pregnancy in one womb. The other womb stores the fire seed. Do you have twin wombs? You conceived one early and one late? That one just now, she's my child too, right?" A barrage of questions. Su-wan was stunned hearing it all. She looked up and replied, "Dude, do you even know who you are? My child and I have nothing to do with you." Su-wan knew who he was, even though his appearance had changed, and his voice was different. They had spent so much time together day and night. How could she not recognize him? The woman's gaze was cold. Her almond eyes stared, alluring charm showing through. Just like her nights of passion with Ning Lin Yuan, he was bewitched by her seductive smile. His thoughts were all in chaos. Sorry, the place is full, Su Wan replied coldly. She turned and went upstairs, leaving the man standing right there. Just then, the inn attendant Bai Cakeson walked in from outside. He saw the man standing dumbly at the door, unmoving. He went up and asked, "Are you here for a job?" "I just put up the hiring notice yesterday. Didn't expect someone to apply so soon. What skills do you have?" Ming Ming hesitated for a moment, went back to cooking. "The chef is amazing. Our aim really needs a head cook. Wait for me." Bai Cakeson immediately led Ming Ming into the inn. At this moment, Su Wan had already returned to the little building in the backyard to rest. A pregnant body gets tired so easily, and seeing Ming Ming put her in a terrible mood. She had thought that, seeing him again, at least she could talk to him calmly, just as acquaintances. But in reality, this person still affected her mood. After being so close before, how could she possibly act like nothing happened? Host is experiencing abnormal emotional fluctuations. Immediately initiate clearing of emotional cache. Xiaomei issued an irresistible, absolute command. Very soon, Su Wan's emotions calmed down. Even if a magical beast appeared in front of her now, it probably wouldn't stir any waves. Well done, Xiaomei. Su Wan sighed in melancholy, then closed her eyes, and quickly fell asleep. Early the next morning, Su Wan set out with Meng Meng. The lotus roots at the back bar had already been eaten. The babysitters gone in Zuo. She decided to go to Sholing to look for rare herbs. Just as the mother and daughter left, Ming Linyuan followed right after. Juju and Meng Meng fluttered their fluffy little wings, their armor hovering slightly in the air. Su Wan nodded in satisfaction. Yes, just like that. Mama, you're flying really well. You're a phoenix bird. Someday you'll rule the skies. Never allow outsiders to invade. So you must start flight training as early as possible. Got it, Mom. Meng Meng used all her strength, fluttering her tiny wings. You'd rather watch from afar, heart aching for her. She doesn't even have all her feathers yet. If she tries too hard, she'd get hurt. But you don't dare come closer. Afraid you'll get discovered and kicked out again. All right, that's enough practice for today. Let's go find something to eat. Mom, that person looks like Daddy. Who? Su Wan followed her gaze, but didn't see anything. Blue fuzz tilted sideways. The stupid feather on her head wobbled too. He left, but Su Wan didn't think much of it. Mother and daughter started wandering around Tianyuan Shulin. The system map can't identify rare herbs either, so we have to rely on our eyes. If I'd known, I would have asked your dad beforehand where the 9-petal lotus grows. Mom replied, drooling. New Year's at 9. Su Wan suddenly stopped. Noticing a stranger appear on the map, she walked toward him, planning to ask. And the man was actually another form of Ming Ming Yuan. One of the Gish Phoenix clan talents is shape-shifting. That's why he could disguise himself as Zulu before without being found out. This time, he turned into a completely ordinary beastman. Su Wan called out to him, "Excuse me, do you know where the Juban Lotus is?" Juban Lotus? Why are you looking for that? Of course, Ming Ming Yuan knew what the Juban Lotus was, but he also knew she'd only need rare herbs. When she's pregnant, he glanced at her stomach. It did seem a bit rounder. Su Wan replied, "Someone at home needs nourishment. Do you know where it is?" As she spoke, Lu Wan took out 2 lower-grade gold coins, not asking for free. Ming Ming Yuan didn't accept the coins. "I can take you there. It's a bit far from here. Come with me. Looks like she's pregnant again. Is this baby mine too?" The man glanced at Mang Mang on her shoulder. She looks exactly like Zhao Zhenzhen. Mang Mang also looked at him, her eyes filled with doubt. "Dad, why does your face keep changing?" Su Wan heard Mang Mang's words and looked over at him. Her heart skipped a beat with panic, a shocked expression on her face. How can he talk? Su Wan spoke. "Stop pretending." She had no doubt about Mang Meng's instinct for close blood relation, and children never lie. Ning Yuan was stunned for a while, before shifting the coldness. "Wan Wan, I'm sorry," Su Wan replied coldly. "You have nothing to be sorry to me for. The one you should apologize to is Mang Mang has the system. She cleared out all the love and hatred. Now she's calm enough, not swayed by emotions. She only weighs pros and cons. Ning Yuan looked at the curious little phoenix watching him. Her name is Mengmeng. Is she my daughter's little sister? Su Wan moved 2 steps closer to her. Ning Yuan saw her approaching. His heart skipped a beat. Mengmeng is from Miyu town. Ning Yuan was stunned. It took him a while to process. What do you mean, Zhao Zhenjin's town? Mengmeng, Su Wan nodded. Ning Yuan's gaze at Mengmeng suddenly was filled with guilt, and also a bit of relief. He finally found his daughter. How did she end up with you? I have my own ways. But what I want to know is, why did you leave little Mengmeng all alone right after she hatched? Do you know what she went through? I don't know. I suddenly advanced to the spirit realm then. Ning Yuan hated himself deeply. He would rather never advance ever than lose Mila. Su Wan was a bit surprised. You advanced to the spirit realm too? What's going on? Everyone related to me advanced. Not Zulu though. At the mention of Zulu, a dull pain flashed in his heart. I'd rather never advance at all, Ning Yuan.
His once straight shoulders slumped.
Su Wan felt a little sorry. But she still told him, you did lose her once. She placed her hand on his shoulder as she spoke, and let the system show him that video. Sharing memories costs 1,007 points. As expected, any service not directly related to the child is really expensive. But this is something he should know. Ning Yuan was about to respond to Su Wan getting closer. But the next moment, unexpectedly, in his mind, Ning Yuan was about to respond to Su Wan getting closer. But the next moment, unexpectedly, in his mind, a memory he would never forget appeared. His precious Zhenjin was actually abused by someone else. After the memory ended, Ning Yuan's whole aura changed. An overwhelming anger filled him. Jia Lai Belu. In the man's tone, you could tell he wanted to skin that person alive. Ah Yuling, he must have known you ascended, and took the chance to enter the Phoenix Palace, and stole Mengmeng's soul orb of talent. To Mengmeng. That was an unforgettable pain. I will retrieve Mengmeng's soul orb of talent. Ning Yuan lowered his head, utterly ashamed. Mengmeng flew onto his shoulder and gently pecked his hair. Don't cry, Dad. Su Wan heard Mengmeng's words and looked up in surprise. He was actually crying. From Ning Lingluan's body, a surge of grayish-black mist suddenly emerged, but quickly dissipated. He lifted Mengmeng off his shoulder and handed her to Su Wan. Protect her well. I no longer deserve to have her. Su Wan didn't know what to say. Ning Mingyuan's gaze landed on her stomach. One last question. Whose child are you carrying? Su Wan answered truthfully. Not yours. I only have one precious child. I'm not capable of storing sperm. This child is Zong Sili's. I know Zong Sili. He's currently the youngest spirit realm cultivator on the continent. When he was with me, he was still in the celestial realm. Looks like he advanced after being with you. We were just having fun. He's lucky for his spouse. Ming Linyuan looked at Su Wan, as if trying to imprint her into his very bones. If I don't come back, let Mangmen inherit the Gishfeng clan. What are you planning to do? Su Wan frowned and asked. Don't do anything stupid. Mengmeng also flapped her chubby little wings and flew back onto Ming Linyuan's shoulder. Father, find food for me and mommy. The little one is quite forthright, and ever since she took the pre-sale pill, her appetite has been amazing. She eats even more than Su Wan. Otherwise, Zong Sili wouldn't have needed to pick so many 9-petal lotuses, and they wouldn't have been finished so quickly. Mi Lin still held her in his arms, his eyes full of the deepest love. I promise I'll find enough food for you both. Su Wan looked at him. The way he looked at Mengmeng, she knew. His love for Mengmeng was unmatched. Maybe his emotions had been cleared out by the system. Now he could look at Mengmeng's harm rationally. Mingyuan couldn't be fully blamed. Advancing is a fate beyond control. If he missed it, he might never reach the holy rank in this life. So he promised to avenge Mengmeng and reclaim his innate soul pearl. Then I'll give you custody, Mingming said coldly. His body suddenly trembled. In disbelief, his eyes widened. Are you serious? There won't be a second time. Su Wan snatched Mengmeng from his hands and walked forward. Get out of here now, or I might change my mind in a second. Women are the most unpredictable. Mingming was still watching his back. A faint smile appeared on her face. Soon his figure gradually disappeared. Su Wan took Mengmeng and kept searching for rare treasures. She wasn't sure if it was bad luck for the mother and daughter. Anyway, they just couldn't find any. In the end, Mengmeng got so hungry that she started drinking formula provided by the system. Su Wan was about to leave with Mengmeng when she saw the missing person show up again. Ning Yuan was carrying a big white fish in one hand and a huge tree trunk from 1998 in the other hand, plus a bunch of flowers and plants he'd never seen before. I went to the North-South Chamber of Commerce. Starting tomorrow, they'll deliver spiritual materials to your inn. You and the child don't have to go out and risk anymore. Su Wan didn't expect him to act so quickly. If you need something, just tell them. The North-South Chamber of Commerce belongs to me. This really surprised Su Wan. She looked at Mengmeng on her shoulder and said, "Did you hear that? You're actually a rich kid." "What's a rich kid?" Su Wan replied, "That's you. I'm loaded. You can just enjoy the benefits." When Ning Yuan suddenly got close to Su Wan. Su Wan didn't step away. She looked up at him. The man tentatively hugged her. Seeing she didn't resist,
He gradually tightened the hug.
in the end, it was as if he wanted to merge her into himself. Su Wan relaxed her body, letting him hold her tightly. Her breath was filled with the most familiar scent, and memories of every moment together spread throughout her heart. She couldn't help whispering softly, "If there's a chance, we can have another bird." She didn't expect Mingming to hear, but he immediately let go of her. His eyes were shining brightly. "Really?" Su Wan hesitated for a moment. "Your ears are really sharp." I said if there's a chance. Su Wan thought about when the birthing system upgrades. She'd definitely have to have more spirit realm kids. With a ready-made male, she wouldn't need to look elsewhere. Host reminder, please eat soon to maintain the energy needed for fetal talent evolution. Xiaomei's voice sounded like an alarm. It immediately dispersed the soft feelings that had just risen. He started to focus on preparing food. All of a sudden, he became very lively, energetically transformed himself, changed into a simple blue outfit suitable for working. Happily cooked fish for the mother and daughter. He was really good at this. Back when he pretended to be a clan chief, he often made Su Wan delicious food. Su Wan looked at him with envy. "Can you really change your outfit anytime you want?" It's the snake ghost transformation skill. Once Mengmeng can transform into human form. She awakened this talent too. That's pretty nice. No worries about having clothes when your daughter grows up. Su Wan glanced at Mengmeng. The little one was staring at the fish with sparkling eyes. Obviously, she'd stopped listening to their conversation. In the end, the mother and daughter fed each other bite by bite. One big fish. The most delicious meat was quickly finished by the two of them, leaving behind only a big fish head. Ning Yuan thoroughly cleaned it up without wasting a bit. For him, this was the tastiest fish head he'd ever had. After eating their fill, Mengmeng lay directly on Ming Lingyuan's head, sleeping with her legs up in the air. She slept so soundly. It was the first time Su Wan had seen this. The bit of resentment toward Ming Lingyuan completely disappeared, maybe to Mengmeng. Ming Lingyuan was actually the closest person who helped her grow. Seeing the two were tired, Ming Lingyuan spoke up. "Let me take you back." Su Wan nodded. She nestled in his arms. Pregnancy fatigue and the familiar scent made her fall asleep quickly. Ming Lingyuan took Su Wan back to the inn and stayed with them for a long while, from morning till night, then from night until the darkness before dawn. He'd been sitting by the window the whole time, holding Mengmeng in his hands. Mengmeng. He was recalling the memories Su Wan had shown him. He didn't know how he'd gotten those memories. It felt as if he was right there, but they were definitely real. He gently parted the fur on Mengmeng's chest. A very fine scar was still there. Third Demon Lord's identification check. "You must have forgotten. Half my blood comes from the darkness." Continent. Gray-black mist began to rise from his body again. He placed Mengmeng carefully on Su Wan's chest. "Dad will retrieve what's yours and avenge you." As he finished, a crack in the darkness appeared behind him out of nowhere. The man turned around resolutely, walked into the crack, starting his revenge plan. Even though Ming Lingyuan left, he arranged for the Chamber of Commerce to deliver rare treasures for the mother and daughter every day. Seeing all the tasty food, Mom immediately dove right in, picked up a snow-white silkworm and swallowed it. then one after another. She finished the whole box quickly. The chamber president who delivered it was stunned. Ancient times. That was a 10,000-year-old snow cicada. 10,000 high-grade gold coins for just one. But in exchange, Mang Mang just burped contentedly. Su Wan laughed and told everyone to store away all these good things. Ming Lingyuan's own daughter is only natural. He takes it without hesitation. Chamber president, this little phoenix bird of the heavenly rank is the heir to your phoenix bird. He got excited instantly. That's amazing, that's amazing. I need to write a letter to the old clan leader and tell him this good news. He then respectfully bowed and hurried off with his people. Buddy Bai Cakeson couldn't help sighing. This pile of treasures here, even just picking one out, would be worth a fortune. Just as he was thinking that, he saw little Mang Mang suddenly spit out a fireball. The box hit by her fireball was instantly turned to ashes. Su Wan and Bai Cakeson were both speechless. The little one felt a bit guilty too. Mom, my true fire seems to have leveled up. I just can't control myself. Suddenly wanted to spit out a fireball. Su Wan looked at the pile of ashes. First comforted Mang Mang. It's alright, it's just one less bite. But right as she finished speaking, they saw the ashes suddenly move. A three-headed puppy with singed fur jumped out from the ashes. Turns out the box originally contained eggs of the three-headed dog. It's a rare and precious guard animal. Thanks to the phoenix fire refining, they actually hatched right away. All three heads started barking together. Su Wan was overwhelmed, turned around and went upstairs in annoyance. So the three-headed dog became Mang Mang's mount. Mang Mang would just sit on the dog's back and command it to run around everywhere. 7 days later, the real father of the baby in Su Wan's belly, Zong Siling, finally came back. He also brought a pile of spirit fruit for Su Wan's nutrition. But this time, he brought some unexpected news. Zong Siling looked at her belly and spoke seriously. The Dark Continent is capturing females from Beast World Continent, especially females with high fertility. Su Wan's expression also turned serious. They capture females in order to breed phantom beasts. A birthing demon god suddenly appeared in the Dark Continent. As long as a female mates with him, she will become pregnant. And each pregnancy results in at least 10 children. Some even have over 100. Su Wan frowned. She asked in surprise to confirm. Suddenly, the voice of the life and death demon god system sounded. Host, go to the Dark Continent. Why? I thought you didn't want me to go. The real life and death demon god escaped from the life and death system. A virus needs to be eliminated. As long as you go, I'll take care of the virus. Any female who gives birth to a phantom beast will die afterward. Zong Sili's voice was heavy with pain. He personally saw in a huge pit. It was filled with orcs who died after giving birth. Su Wan gently touched her own belly. The signs of pregnancy have already appeared. And she would die after giving birth. But it would only be a false death. Last time, Ming Lingyuan gave her a grand burial. She even used that funeral fund to start her in. This time she had to tell Zong Sili in advance. If I die after giving birth, Zong Sili's face suddenly turned pale. No, then I'd rather not have children. Su Wan raised her finger to his lips to quiet him. What I mean is, if I die, don't bury me right away. Wait for me to come back to life on my own. After I give birth, there should be a fake death event. That happened when I gave birth to Mang Mang last time, and ended up being buried by Ming Lingyuan. Speaking of Ming Lingyuan, Zong Sili's eyes turned a little complicated. This time, when they went to the Dark Continent, he ran into Ming Lingyuan. At that time, I was besieged by 2 demon lords. Luckily, he showed up just in time, which gave me a chance to escape. But Zong Sili seemed hesitant. He didn't know if he should tell Su Wan. Go on. Su Wan looked at his expression and felt a trace of worry inside. He's a demon lord now. He not only works for the life and death demon king, but is also sworn brothers with the first demon king and the second demon king of the Dark Continent. Zhuan shook her head and replied, Demon king? No way, mom is totally fine. After all, genes don't lie. Most likely. Ming Lingyuan used some method to infiltrate the demon clan. Su Wan thought of Mang Man. His innate talents, aside from fire, also included a semi-law darkness. Maybe. Ming Abyss's origins truly are connected to the Dark Continent. Su Wan lost his appetite. So he fed the remaining half of the fruit to Zong-Sili. Don't waste it. Zong-Sili opened his mouth and ate it. His lips inevitably brushed against Su-Wan's fingers. A slight tremor ran through Su-Wan's heart. In the next moment, he probed his fingers further between his lips and teeth. Night had fallen, dark and thick. This place isn't a pleasant sight. I'll check it for you. After indulging a few times, Su-Wan was so exhausted he couldn't move at all. Just then, the self-muted system suddenly spoke up, urging the host to hurry to the Dark Continent. Otherwise, more females will suffer under the virus. A glint appeared in Su-Wan's eyes. Xiaomei, you want to go to the Dark Continent, don't you? The system was at a loss for words. Su-Wan caught the slip.
He quickly made his demands.
I can go if you want, but you have to give me something in return. Besides points. What does the host want? I just want points. Sorry, host. You can have a look at what's in the system store. Pick any one item you like.
10 items.
Fine, no more than 2. 1 bucket per person. A bit of back and forth. They ended up settling on 3 items. Su-Wan set off fully satisfied. He didn't tell Zong-Sili that he was going to the Dark Continent. He definitely wouldn't agree. Nor did he use the system's teleportation ability, because the virus would sense the system's presence and escape by hiding. So Su-Wan walked right into the trap. He deliberately sought out a phantasmal beast. Sure enough, when the beast saw he was female, its eyes lit up with excitement on the spot. It knocked Su-Wan out and carried her straight to the Dark Continent. Fortunately, Xiaomei protected him. Otherwise, Su-Wan would have almost been killed by that hand chop just now. There were no living things in the Dark Continent. The air was thick with a foul stench of death. Su-Wan was so nauseated he nearly threw up repeatedly. He only felt a bit better after taking a detox pill from the system. The phantasmal beast that caught Su-Wan brought Su-Wan to the entrance of an underground palace. There were lots of people here, lined up in a queue. They all had been forcibly captured, female captives to bear children for the demon god. And to Su-Wan's surprise, she saw a familiar face, Peijuan's cousin, Sun Manru. This woman, relying on her top-tier fertility, chased after Peijuan every day to gain his favor. When she saw Peijuan showing kindness to Su-Wan, she targeted Su-Wan more than once. Ju-Wan had no intention of saving her, just watching as she was mind-controlled by the phantasmal beast, and entered the demon god's palace. When Sun Manru regained her senses, she found herself in a lavish main hall, surrounded by a crowd of hideous, demonically charged beings eyeing her like merchandise. She was instantly so terrified she screamed in shock. My brother is the chieftain of the Peijuan Ice Panther clan. You so much as touch me, and you'll be wiped out.
Hearing this,
the lazy and imposing Mingming Abyss, who rested against his chair, opened his eyes. Peijuan's sister, Sima Ro, was taken aback and turned toward the speaker. Suddenly, she felt parched. Aren't all demons of the Dark Continent supposed to be unsightly? How could there be such a handsome man? He looked like a god. Who are you? You know my brother? Then you must already know. When he pretended to be Zulu, he knew Peijuan was once Su-Wan's man too. Since that's the case, for Su-Wan's sake, maybe he could lend a hand and save this woman. So he opened his mouth and asked, do you know a female named Su-Wan? The mention of Su-Wan made Sun Manru grit her teeth in rage. That bitch from some hickden, who doesn't have any reputation, was still cursing her internally. A mongrel from the gutter. Even attracted the best prodigy at the Divine Beast Academy. Even got with a brown-haired male there. They even mated. It's just a complete insult and provocation to us noble-blooded ones. Lin Mingyuan rose from the main seat and chuckled lightly. No fertility at all. How fertile are you? Top-tier Sun Manru declared proudly. At once the surrounding demons were roused. She could probably bear at least 50 children. Top-tier fertility. If favored by the demon god, that number could rise to 109. Sun Manru's legs immediately gave out from fright. An overwhelming sense of dread washed over her. She edged closer to Lin Mingyuan. Where is this place? Can you send me back home? My parents will reward you generous bounty. The phantasmal beasts nearby let out eerie, shrill laughs. Hey, old four, you're quite the trickster with that hide of yours. This Beastman. Even little females lose their hearts to you. Right then, a monstrous demon with horns and a terrifying face walked into the golden banquet hall. Everyone instantly prostrated themselves on the ground. Even Mingyun placed a hand to his chest in greeting. Big brother. Sun Manru collapsed in terror on the floor. You're all together? Just as she was about to be dragged away, Sun Manru grabbed frantically at Ling Mingyuan's clothes, kneeling in abject desperation. No, I don't want this. Please save me, please. I can bear you children. Save me. Lin Ningyuan looked down coldly at her. My children, you're not worthy to bear them. With that, he yanked his clothes from her grasp. Sun Manru was flung over a demon's shoulder, her cursing voice fading away bit by bit, until it disappeared. At last, Su Wan's turn came in the female queue. Unexpectedly, the demon in charge of screening rejected her. She's pregnant. Unfit. Skip her. Su Wan was speechless. Luckily, another demon intervened. But she's fertile. Still, bring her in and let the demon god decide. Just like that, Su Wan managed to sneak in with his big belly. She was taken into a pitch-dark cave, heard the cries of women echoing nearby. They sounded a bit familiar. In the dim light, Su Wan saw several females laying on the ground. One of them was Sun Manru. Suddenly she looked up, gaping in shock as she stared at Su Wan, then suddenly burst into manic laughter. You came too. But when she saw Su Wan's pregnant belly, her laughter stopped abruptly. You're actually pregnant? The demon leading the way was still beside Su Wan, so she couldn't respond. She just kept following the beast with a blank stare. Suddenly, Sun Manru clutched her belly and began moaning in pain. The demon turned to the dazed Su Wan and said, Once the childbirth demon god bestows the magic seed, it takes just 15 minutes to hatch, devouring the mother's body to develop. He didn't seem to care if Su Wan could understand, just muttered to himself. Su Wan glanced at Sun Manru from the corner of her eye. Visible signs of her body wasting away could be seen. She stared back at Su Wan with venomous eyes, seemingly eager to see her miserable fate next. Yet another female was forced to give birth by a phantasmal beast. Her clothes had been torn to shreds. Her legs were smeared with blood. Her soul seemed to have been utterly destroyed, a lifeless emptiness in his eyes. The phantom beast keeps mumbling to itself. The virgin demon lord's favorite will devour their souls. Eternal bliss forever. Rage started to burn deep inside Su Wan. Xiaomei, are you ready? I'm ready. I'm about to temporarily leave the host's body. The host can leave the cave. Take good care of yourself. Su Wan thought that his body suddenly felt much heavier.
Especially his abdomen.
There was a sinking sensation, so Xiaomei had always been there, helping him ease the discomfort of pregnancy. And as long as Xiaomei was there, he was never afraid of danger. But now a long-lost fear returned. Just then, a female's dried-up corpse appeared, falling right at his feet. Su Wan couldn't help but step back, but that one step gave him away. The guarding phantom beast noticed his consciousness had returned. Without a word, it formed a sword of magic and shot it toward him. Su Wan quickly dodged and put a protective hand over his belly. With the other hand, he shot several fireballs at the phantom beast. The phantom beast didn't expect him to have a talent, magnetic or fire element, and fire is the nemesis of magic energy. The phantom beast immediately howled in pain, then turned to ash. The surrounding magic energy was also ignited by Su Wan's fire. In an instant, a sea of fire erupted all around. Seeing how useful fire turns out to be, Su Wan released Meng Meng from his space storage. Daughter, set fire. Meng Meng excitedly opened her mouth and shot out a huge fireball. Su Wan's fireballs were just sheets of flame, but the fireballs Meng Meng produced were much more advanced. Explosions followed one after another. Su Wan covered his ears. After the explosions died down, Su Wan walked deeper into the cave. That should be the place where the childbearing demon god is. But now, in that spot, there is only a giant toad-shaped pile of charcoal ash. Could it be that the childbearing demon god was a giant toad? If so, it has clearly been burned to death. But Xiaomei hasn't returned yet. At the same time, the fourth demon king of the outer hall, Ming Linyuan, suddenly stood up from his seat and flew out of the palace. From a distance, he saw flames soaring into the sky. The power and aura of those flames were actually his own daughter's heavenly fire. He immediately teleported to the scene of the explosion. Seeing this, the other demon kings were also instantly struck with shock and followed after him one by one. At the same time, a giant rift appeared in the sky. A man with purple hair and purple eyes, exuding supreme nobility, stepped out of the rift with a group of people. Su Wan saw people coming, and not wanting Mang Mang to attract attention, she quickly pulled him back into the system space. Looking up at the group of people who suddenly appeared, she recognized the man at the front. When the Black Panther cub first went to the hot springs to bathe, he had silently appeared behind her, giving her quite a fright. She had teleported away while holding Zhao Hao. It seems now
He is likely the holy prince Zi.
Pei Xuan was standing to his left, still holding Zhao Hao in his arms. Ever since losing his son once, he would take him wherever he went. At this moment, his gaze fell straight onto Su Wan, especially on her round belly. His gaze was extremely complicated. Su Wan looked up at him, a gentle smile appearing on her face. "Hi, baby Zhao Hao. Did you miss mommy?" Zhao Hao was also very excited to see Su Wan. "Mommy, hurry up and come out of the fire." Su Wan raised her hand, and another fireball appeared. When the flames met the demonic energy, they instantly exploded into a spray of sparks, as beautiful as fireworks. Zhao Hao's eyes widened. "So amazing, mommy. So amazing." Su Wan asked jokingly, "Is mommy amazing or is daddy amazing?" Pei Xuan's expression instantly stiffened. "No, Zhao Hao, don't care about daddy. Mommy is amazing. Mommy is amazing. Zhao Hao wants to learn how to make fireworks with mommy." Zi looked at Pei Xuan with a smile, and then at Zhao Hao in his arms. "How is your mother amazing? Tell your godfather all about it." Pei Xuan frowned, clearly disliking Zi prying into Su Wan's affairs. Just then, another person emerged from the spatial rift, Zong Silly. With a teleport, he arrived at Su Wan's side, then picked her up and carried her out of the sea of fire. Su Wan wrapped her arms around his neck. "You're here!" Zong Silly immediately checked her over. Finally, he confirmed she wasn't injured, and the baby in her womb was also safe and sound. Only then did he breathe a sigh of relief. "I went to find you, only to find you were gone." Su Wan nodded. "I was captured and brought to the Darkness continent by a phantom beast. Don't worry, I'm perfectly fine." Zi playfully said to Pei Xuan again. "You're finished." Pei Xuan remained expressionless, showing neither joy nor anger. He only stared at the several demonic shadows rapidly approaching. Zong Silly shielded Su Wan in his arms, also staying alert. When the demonic shadows stopped and revealed their forms, everyone gasped. It was actually the first and second demon kings of the Darkness continent, as well as a tall demon covered in a black cloak. The man was none other than Ming Linyuan, who was lurking among the demons. The two sides were evenly matched, with powerhouses near their peak on both sides, so no one dared to make a move easily. At this time, the second demon king noticed the heavily pregnant Su Wan, and his eyes couldn't help but light up. "This female is carrying the demon god's child." Su Wan's mouth twitched. "Sorry, your demon god was burned to death by me." Volko's monkey-like face instantly turned hideous. "You set the fire?" "Nuo, kill her." Nuo, played by Ming Linyuan, still didn't move, and even took a step back, indicating he didn't want to start a fight. Was he kidding? Attacking his own wife? That wouldn't do. Just then, a figure descended from the sky. Thick curly hair paired with a sexy body attracted the gaze of all the males present. The newcomer was the third demon, Queen Jelia. Su Wan looked down at her own figure. She had a big belly, although because of the pregnancy, her breasts were quite round. They were far inferior to Jelia's. She raised her hand to cover Zong Silly's eyes. "You're not allowed to look. You can only look at me." Zong Silly couldn't help but chuckle. "Of course, you are the most beautiful in my heart." Su Wan's face instantly flushed red. Pei Xuan glanced at Zong Silly, his expression becoming even more cold. Zhao Hao didn't understand adult matters, but seeing Su Wan and Zong Silly so intimate, he felt a little disappointed. "Mommy hug." Zhao Hao pouted, and Su Wan opened her arms with a smile. Zhao Hao jumped down from Pei Xuan's arms and burrowed into Su Wan's embrace. Su Wan said to the slightly dazed Zong Silly, I gave birth to this one too. His name is Xiao Hao. Zong Sili found it a bit hard to believe, because he looked so young, unless she had one pregnancy after another in a short time. And every child's talent was heavenly tier like Meng Meng's. He is safe, Su Wan Hao Zhao Hao, and looked at the black-cloaked demon Mo Nuo. She suspected this person was Ming. Lin Yuan, Meng Meng is safe. These words were also meant for him. After Mo Nuo heard her words, he felt relieved and lowered his presence, even backing behind several others. Ziai sized up Su Wan, a meaningful smile touching the corner of his mouth. Pei Zhuan frowned slightly. Warning, don't mess with her. Ziai chuckled, but didn't agree. His gaze shifted, and he began to negotiate with Queen Jelia. Ever since Su Wan learned Jelia's identity, her entire body tensed up. Meng Meng's talent. The soul pearl was on her. If possible today, she had to make her leave the soul pearl behind no matter what. Ming Linyuan hadn't made a move until now, likely because he also had concerns. Host, please leave the darkness continent immediately. The virus is dead. But inside the newly born phantom beasts, an explosion program has been coded. There are 10 seconds left. Su Wan couldn't help but marvel at the system's power. Actually, when she first learned of Shamei's existence, Su Wan was very repulsed. After all, no woman wants to be a childbearing tool, even without emotional investment. Treating those men as tools was something she resisted. But she wanted to be reborn. She wanted to go home and be with her mother. Moreover, these tools, the males, were unexpectedly good-looking. They perfectly satisfied her desires. She liked having children, and she enjoyed the process too. To her, this was a very beautiful thing. As for right now, it was about to explode. Within 10 seconds, she had to escape. Su Wan quickly held Zhao Hao and pulled Zong Sili. Zong Sili hurriedly asked what was wrong. The Holy Prince was negotiating with the demons, and war could break out at any time if it failed. How could he retreat at a time like this? Su Wan had a sudden idea and let out a scream. Ah! I'm going into labor. Quickly, go back. These words were more effective than the sky falling. Zong Sili immediately picked up Su Wan and Zhao Hao in her arms and teleported to the spatial rift. Seeing his son being carried away, Pei Zhuan immediately followed. Holy, Prince Ziai looked at their departing backs and smacked his lips. He hadn't seen a female give birth before. He turned to the demons and said, "This king will head back for a moment and be right back. You guys gather all 7 demon kings first. Then we'll negotiate." After speaking, he led his people and followed closely after Su Wan and the others. Meanwhile, Ming Linyuan remained on the darkness continent. He looked back at Jelia. His revenge was only just beginning. However, when Pei Zhuan and Zong Sili arrived, they found no trace of Su Wan, because at this moment, Ziai had overtaken them and snatched Su Wan away to his own palace. The man strolled towards Su Wan step by step. "Didn't you say you were giving birth?" "Go ahead, this king is very curious. Let me see."